Dog. What's up, y'all? Ah, shit. Let me get the crew in here. Let me go and deafen myself. Alright, shit. We're finally live, boys. Wait. Yeah, we're finally live. Oh, fuck. My bad. Hold on a second. I forgot I, deafened Discord, or muted Discord. Okay, now say something. There you go. Alright, what's up, guys?
We got 10 people watching, boys.
Finally. I've been looking forward this for a long ass time. I think the movie came out. Okay, so this was let me get some clarity to this or whatever. The movie came out. I wanted to do this before the movie came out, but then I don't know what happened. I got depressed or something, and then I was like, I'm not gonna make this a fucking live streamed event or whatever. I was like, that's some bullshit. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. And then I saw the movie, and after I saw the movie, I was like, I guess we're actually going to be doing this shit live. So here we are. I had to fucking go through hell and back to get everything ready in time, but it's all ready. We're here. And shit, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks very nice. I think I did a great job. What happened?
You could ask for some help, though.
No, yeah, I probably could have. But, what's it called? When I got into it, I just, started going. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to take me...
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I thought it was going to take me all day to get all this shit together, and it really didn't. It only took me, I think...
You get caught up in it?
Yeah, you just get caught up in it, you start going, you hit the ground running, and that's what happened pretty much. I hit the ground running, and I kept going. And it took me, I think, 2 hours and 2.5 hours, I think. So it wasn't that bad, actually. And I split it out, so I did the thumbnail stuff one day, graphic stuff one day, but I don't think anyone fucking cares about that. Let's be real. I don't think anyone gives a shit.
You sped yourself up.
Yeah, I sped myself up. I just wanted to give myself a little shout out. I'm very proud of this. I think it looks very nice. But before we get into the debate itself, let's go around. Let's do a round table introduction. I'm just gonna say this beforehand. Teleblue isn't here yet. He's in school still. So when he's out of school, he'll just hop into the Discord call. So you hear a little. Yeah, you'll hear a little bit like boom or whatever, and then he'll just hop in. But I'm MonoCRYPTIC. I'm hosting this bitch. It's on my channel. And yeah, I did one of these for Forces. That was really fun. That was 3 fucking years ago. Time really flies, huh? It's been 3 years. That's wild. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, it was 3 years since the last debate. Look at how far we've come. I wish the old debate was still up just so we could compare it this one to the old one. But bygones are bygones.
You don't save stream archive?
No, it was on my old channel, and my old channel is just fucking deleted. So
that was a long ass time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was almost 3 years, 2 and maybe a quarter or something like that. So it's been long. Yeah, I see it. I see it, Rel. I'll be honest, bro. I thought you were going to be streaming when we would do this, but then I forgot about the time difference. So it's fucking 9 o'clock for you. So that's, but I introduced myself. You guys introduce yourself so we could get into the actual, discussion.
Who's first?
Just go down on order of what's
it should go in on
screen. Yeah. So,
I guess that means I'm first then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm the FizzWiz. I'm here because I was dragged here against my will.
Yes,
I work on Infinity Plus, fan game developer. I've seen the movie twice now. I wanted to watch it the third time, but work got in the way, and I'm super excited to be here.
All right.
I'm Nico Plymouth. You might have known me as Plymouth Cat before. I was the first member of the original Forces crew, and I'm going to be back on YouTube real soon. I'm about to get ready for that shit. Okay. I'm ready for this debate.
Wait, is that me now?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh. Okay, so I'm Shibo, FRFX. I kind of just exist in a quantum realm at this point. And I'm happy to be here. Let's get this popping.
Understandable.
All right. And yeah, like I said before, Teleblue isn't going to be here at the beginning, but he'll just hop in whenever he actually gets back. Yeah. So let's start by basically okay, no. Let me preface this by saying we're gonna spoil fucking everything. There's a reason why this is happening a week after the movie came out. This is not spoiler free. If you haven't seen it and you want to avoid spoilers, leave. Don't watch this shit. But if you want to stay here, if you want to sit by and watch, listen to us spoil the fucking movie, go ahead. Stick around. I would love to have your company. But I guess I'll go first. But what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to give my first impressions. I may or may not I'll give a basic synopsis of the story, and then from there we'll have everybody give their opinions, and then that'll just be the, catalyst for the discussion itself. So for me personally, this movie has come a long fucking way, remembering it from however many, it was a year ago. No. Yeah, about a year ago, when we first got a glimpse of the movie, something actually tangible, and that was the design and whatever. And obviously the first design is pretty horrendous. A lot of people talk about the first design in their reviews and shit. I get that, but I feel like you can't talk about this movie without talking about the first design, just because of how crazy that shit was. You know what I mean? It would just be odd to ignore that aspect of this film entirely, because it had a big part on people's perception of this movie, and I would honestly say it had a big part on the movie's success as well. So I wasn't really interested in seeing the movie.
Someone should not have an ass.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in seeing it. I thought the design was terrible. I was like, this is gonna be a butchering of the character. Fuck this, I'm good, I'll pass. And I was honestly I'm pretty sure this movie would have bombed if they kept the original design. Yeah, I think it would have bombed for sure if they kept the original design. But then, they announced they were going to do the redesign. They delayed it from November to November 7th. It was November 7th, right? Or was it November 9th? One of those 2 days.
It was the 9th, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, no.
So came out Forces Month.
Right before Frozen 2, if I remember.
Yeah. So, it was going to come out Forces Month, but they said, fuck that, and they pushed it back to Valentine's Day. And so they released the first trailer for the movie around December of last year. And I remember I was very excited after looking at the trailer. I was just like, wow, this looks so fucking, fun. It didn't look really good or anything like that, but I felt like I would go in and I would watch it and I would have a really fun time. And so I was excited to see it. I was like, yes, this is going to be something I really enjoy. This is going to be something I have a lot of fun with. And so, that was sort of where I was coming from. Fast forward to now, where we are right now. And I've seen the film. I've seen this movie 3 times, and that was within the course of 4 days. So, I think it's fair to say I really like this movie. Just as a whole, I don't know what's going on with Spotify, but this shit keeps stopping and pause and starting. But I've seen the movie 3 times. I think it's really good. Yeah, I do, but I don't know what I think it's this is the first time I've encountered this. It may have something to do with my headset, but that's cool. First, I'm not going to do synopsis, actually. We'll talk about the story details when we get into them. But my first impressions is that it was a very faithful movie. It was very basic, you know what I mean? Movie isn't special. For me personally, I would give it a 6.5, but I could understand someone giving it a 5 or a 4 even, because it's not a very impressive screenplay. It hits the bare minimums. It hits all the all the minors, not minor, but I guess foundational, basic, obligatory story beats and whatnot, and that's really cool. But for the most part, don't go into this expecting some masterpiece of a narrative and whatnot. It's something you're gonna have to suspend yourself in disbelief for a little bit in order to enjoy, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when you turn your brain off when you watch this, I think it's a very engaging and entertaining movie, and that's something I'm all about, just entertain me, dog. And so that's what I really like about it. Let's go through and say all the positive first impressions. Then we'll go back and we'll do the negative. We're going to go down based on the order as well. So just keep to that order for the entire discussion. So,
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So who's first?
Fizz, are you?
Oh, I guess I'm first.
Fizzy Fizz.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I went to go watch the movie, I didn't know what to think at first. Like whenever I was like sitting in line waiting to go into the theater, and I was sitting down, I was definitely nervous because I didn't know what to expect. Because I saw it on Thursday, which was the pre-show day, so I had not heard pretty much anything other than some of the really early review stuff. So my initial
Hey, hop in, y'all. Hop in, y'all. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh,
I'm reading the chat.
Is Blue here now?
I got
coming.
spoiled on the
He's coming.
mid-credit scene before
Oh, hell yeah.
before I got.
All right. Yeah. Let's let him finish his thought though. Let's let him finish his thought.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of things. Oh, here he is.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool, dope.
Oh shit.
There's a lot of things that I definitely enjoyed. I would definitely agree with the sentiment that you have to turn your brain off for a couple of things because there's a couple of logical leaps you have to go and hop through with the story because like for example, why the fuck couldn't Sonic just grab a map and go to San Francisco and the movie be over in like 5 seconds?
Right, yeah.
That would have been a boring ass movie. So obviously they had to make a couple logical leaps to make it into an entertaining film. And like definitely a couple of the positive things I would go over would definitely be like the character interaction. That's one of the things that I always enjoyed. The 2 times I had seen the movie, 2 things I enjoyed absolutely to the extreme was how Sonic, Tom, Eggman, and like to an extent even the what's his name, Stone guy. I don't remember his name.
Like, yeah, it was Stone. Yeah.
How they all interact with each other is definitely one of my favorite parts of the movie because it all feels natural. It doesn't feel like any of the actors are phoning it in. It doesn't feel like anyone is, forcing themselves to play a character they don't really want to. Like everyone looks like they're genuinely having fun with the movie, and to me, it just makes enjoying the movie itself that much better. But a quick overall idea on what I feel about the movie, I definitely see it as a artist. Like I hope I'm kind of using this phrase right. It's definitely an artist's rendition of Sonic. Like, yeah. Whenever I look at this and I look at the games, I see 2 completely different things, but a catalyst that connects them is Sonic the character and how he acts as a person.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that even though this isn't like the games, besides the numerous Easter eggs and callbacks and all that stuff, even though it's not like the games in most aspects, like the characters, like as such as Sonic and Robotnik or Eggman, they definitely make it grounded in the world of Sonic. And I just see it as not like we've said multiple times, not a Sonic movie, just a movie with Sonic in it, but it definitely feels like a great movie with Sonic in it because it's like, hey, here's a fun family film, but Sonic like makes it that much better because it's just enjoyable. I would give it a solid, 8 out of 10, like 7.5, 8 out of 10, but that's just because a lot of the comedy lands for me, but that's also just because I am super easy to please when comedy is in play.
Right, yeah.
Felt that.
So, and the action sequences. I definitely enjoyed like every moment with the action sequences, but I think that's about all I've got in terms of positives.
All right, what about you, Plymouth?
Well, should we introduce Blue first? Now he's here.
Yeah. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is the true Blue Sonic fan. I'm the legend who created the infinite is from our world theory.
No, bro, you have the whole fucking Lego Sonic movie. You're the legend behind that shit. Wow. That's what you're known for.
200,000 views.
Movie with that.
Yeah, you predicted Sonic would floss before the movie even came out. That takes some real fucking brain power.
It would have been better if he did the default dance.
If he did what?
If he did the default dance.
Yo, low-key, honestly,
that's way too hard to animate.
I'll be honest.
I would have preferred that.
I would have preferred the default dance too. I'd be entirely honest. That shit would have been a lot more. Like I would have vibed with that a lot more than the fucking floss, dude. God damn.
It would have been funnier too.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing I hated about him doing the floss is how smooth it looked.
No, okay.
Come on.
They worked way too hard.
So here's the thing. The first time I was like, all right, I vibe with this. You know what I mean? The first time I was like, yo, this is kind of dope, low key. And then they did it again, and I was like, okay, All right, guys. I don't think we needed
All
a
right,
double
buddy.
dip with that one. I don't think we needed a double fucking dip with that one. It was fine the first time. I was willing to give you a pass, but twice, I don't know about that.
You gotta floss
I don't
twice
know,
a
but
day.
that ain't it.
Recommend.
By the way, are we going into spoiler territory?
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
that before. We're spoiling
Indeed.
everything.
All right, that's epic. That's good.
Okay,
Oh,
Plymouth
wait,
was gonna
wait,
talk
before
though.
we continue. Can I ask, are we going to be able to delve into some of our own personal theories?
Yeah, sure.
For a sequel or something?
Sure, yeah.
Yes!
Sure, let's
Oh
do
my
that.
god.
Theory.
I'd
Sounds
say
like a gamer guide in
For like
here.
the end.
Yeah,
Oh,
at the end, probably.
Hey guys, Gamer Guide 7 Aces.
Yes, sir.
Gamer Guide 7 Aces.
All right, guys, I'm out.
Reporting
I'll
for
see you
duty.
later.
Okay, Plymouth, go ahead. Go ahead, finish your thought.
All right. So obviously, I'm always a lot more willing to wait for films. So I wasn't ever really like negatively thinking about how the film was going to be. Even with the old design, like obviously it looked like shit, but I wasn't too turned off. So I was still excited to see it the whole time. And when I went into the theater before the movie even started, like it was just the Paramount logo, I started crying. Like you probably could have heard me a little bit. Like I was really crying because like it's still kind of hitting me that we're thanks man, that we're actually getting that we actually got rather like a Sonic film like now of all times. You know what I mean? In the day and age we are with Sonic as a whole,
Mhm.
and the movie itself, like it's very much I heard someone else put it like it's in a like genre that's very generic and like tired, but of that it's stellar, like within that sort of like subgenre or whatever. And it was definitely a fun movie to watch. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was fun, and I'd give the movie probably like a 6 out of 10. Like thinking back on it, but I'm less happy about the movie itself, and more so about like what it sort of means for the series of Sonic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And attention is kind of garnered.
right.
That's how I feel.
Okay, all right, Shibo. Go ahead. No, yeah, only 13, guys. Share this shit. Get some more people in here. I mean, 13's fine. I'll be honest. I'm happy with 13. But if we can get more people in here, go ahead. Share
Wait, hold
this
up.
shit.
I'm in Peanut Butter
I
Gamer
tweeted out
server.
the-
There's
I
like
tweeted out
10,000
the stream
people.
earlier, so
Yeah, I guess.
I tweeted out the stream earlier, so
Okay,
I tried to
alright.
get.
Dope. Yeah, I
so,
mean, you know, whenever I think peak concurrent was like 20, so I'm fine with that. 20 is a success for me. I only have like 100 subs, so I'll take that shit. You know what I mean? But if you guys want to boost those numbers a little bit more, you know, tweet the link out, share it in the Discord server, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, once again, this is just the big thing for all of us fans to get together, chill, and talk about something we're passionate about. It's nothing too seriously. I'm calling it debate, but that's clickbait. You know, I just want people to fucking come. So that's really it. But yeah, go ahead, Shiba. Go ahead. Yeah, it's your turn now.
So something that I'm pretty sure Sonic fans have been waiting for a movie like this for ages upon ages, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm still a bit in disbelief that we got this movie.
Yeah, I am
because
too.
It's been to hell and back pretty much. Like, you know, we had Sonic with those thick thighs and teeth, you know.
Mhm.
We had and then we got the design change, and it's just like the drastic amount of, like, the thing that has me in disbelief is the fact that a whole team agreed upon the original design.
Yeah, or even
But,
that.
like-
I wouldn't even say. No. Yeah, you're right. It was
yeah.
a team. It was a team. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
So like how I feel about this movie, I enjoyed it. Like, it used tropes from different like live action hybrid movies, but like how do I say this? It used those tropes, but like made them feel like a breath of fresh air, if that makes sense.
Breath of the Wild.
Like, oh my god. So like
Fucking asshole.
So like Sonic isn't exactly a fish out of water in this movie, and that's what I like probably the most about the setting, because he knows the customs of Earth and all. He's just not too familiar with traveling and stuff. I really like the action sequences. They were flashy, vibrant, really well done. Ben Schwartz's Sonic is probably my favorite portrayal of Sonic in years because Roger he like for Roger, it's like he's not a bad voice actor by any means, but like he's just not a great Sonic.
Yeah.
I felt the writing was pretty
Yeah,
decent.
good looks,
like
bro.
in terms of giving Sonic depth to his character, I felt that the writing was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we've never seen an emotional side of Sonic before, so it's really a change of pace.
Yeah.
The CGI and video effects. Wait, did I already bring that up? I think I did. But
I don't think so. No.
I don't think you did either. No.
Oh, okay. So it did look a bit jarring at times, especially when Tom had to interact with Sonic, like pick him up or something.
No, I felt that.
But
yeah.
I did feel it was pretty. Yeah, I did feel it was pretty good. Jim Carrey's Robotnik stole the show for me. Besides Ben Schwartz's Sonic,
Yes.
it's like an evil Ace Ventura, and then as the movie goes on, he progressively gets more and more like psychotic.
Yeah.
Would that be the right word?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, we just see him with the grown out mustache, and like I could even hear like a bit of Mike Pollock in his voice.
Yeah. Okay, so here's some things that I'm gonna stop you real quick because I actually do want to say something about this though. But Jim Carrey also made this movie for me for sure. I enjoyed this so much mainly because of Jim Carrey's performance. What I saw they were. Wait, hold on a second. What I saw they were doing here, or what I felt they were doing here, is it was sort of like that Squidward SpongeBob type of dynamic, you know what I mean? Where you have a character that sort of represents the more mature audience, you know, the people who are grown up, the people who have jobs and shit, you know, the people whose like balls are drying up, they're hitting fucking menopause and shit, those types of people, the people that really fucking hate life, you know what I mean? And then you have the people, and then you have people like Sonic, you know what I mean? The people that are very young at heart, they're very childish, you know what I mean? Optimistic worldview, and they're very, very innocent, you know what I mean? They got a lot going on. They had those two different types of perspectives in terms of their writing and whatnot, and I really liked that. I liked, you know, what's it called? I wouldn't say nihilistic, but he had Dr. Robotnik had sort of an absurdist mindset outlook on the world, and I really fucked with that. I thought it really worked for his character, someone who's very disconnected from the people around him, and someone who genuinely doesn't give a shit about everyone, you know, like I guess around him and whatnot.
I felt he cared about Agent Stone though.
Yeah, I feel like he had that one person, you know, he had some type of positive attitudes and like feelings towards, you know what I mean? That would definitely be Agent Stone. So I agree with you there. But what's it called? You know, for the most part, that's where I was at, and that's why I enjoyed his performance a little bit more. Because me myself, I'm a little bit absurdist in my, you know, what's it called, outlooks on life and the world and stuff like that, and just like, you know, how I view things in general. And you know, just sort of seeing that from Robotnik was very refreshing, especially since his character has been butchered so much in recent titles. They actually went out of his way to make him a goofy villain, but he's still very threatening and menacing, you know what I mean? And I fucks with that. That's what I'm trying to see from my Robotnik. I'm not trying to see this Dr. Doofenshmirtz bullshit they've been pulling for the last couple of years.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I
really like.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, I want someone who's threatening and can still be, you know, like a goofy asshole. My favorite scene in this entire movie is the entire chase around the world, and the biggest reason why I like that is how those two interact with one another. I love how Sonic starts it off with, "All right, you want to go fast, Eggman? You know, you want to do fast, Eggman? Let's do fast." And then he speeds off, and then Robotnik zooms after him, and it's just like this giant fucking thing where they're both quipping at one another and stuff. And I love how, after he shoots him off of the pyramid, and you know he's thrown back into Green Hill and stuff like that. That shot of the Eggomatic coming out of the ring with all the dust swirling around it, and all you can see is the red glow and all that shit. It was so fucking beautifully composed. I love that shot. It's my favorite shot in the entire movie. It looks so beautiful, and then you know his menacing theme on top of that, the like dun dun dun, like that shit was so fucking nice. And I remember when I was sitting there.
So many Adventures of Sonic Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, when I was sitting there, I was like, yo, this is my fucking Eggman right here. This is my Eggman. And it just reminded me of Adventure Eggman, you know what I mean? Where he had moments where he was goofy and whatnot, but for the most part, he would kill someone. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, if you fucked with him, he would kill someone. Like, the one line from Adventure Eggman I really liked was the one right before you do Tails' final mission and whatnot, where he's just like, you know, I don't know what he says, but he pretty much like tells Tails to go home. He's not gonna play with kids, and he says it so menacingly, and I'm like, yes, that's how you fucking do it. And you know, that was it for me. I love his you know, Carrie gave a really good performance here. I love to see Goofy Carrie again. And on top of that, he just, like, I can really tell he cared about this character, you know what I mean? And honestly, like, I love Mike Pollock, but whenever he plays the character, it's always backed by terrible fucking writing, you know what I mean? And so in a lot of ways, this Eggman has become my definitive modern Eggman. Like, I just fuck with this shit. And I also really like how they took Eggman and they made it its own. That's something that happens a lot in this movie. They take elements of the universe and they make it they make those elements their own, you know what I mean? Like the rings, like Green Hill just being an unnamed island, and then naming the town Green Hills. And I also like how Eggman got his moniker, how they called him Robotnik, gave him a more realistic sounding name, and then they infused the sleek looking white design of his drones and his robots and stuff like that into his name, and it was very organic. It was a very organic evolution of Robotnik to Eggman. And by the end of the movie, you know what I mean, Sonic was just calling him Eggman, you know? It was just a normal thing. So it was, that shit really worked, and I was very impressed. You know, I was very impressed from an adaptation, a live action adaptation of all things. We're getting these people. It's very clear that these people care about what they're doing in the source material, and they're Sonic fans themselves, obviously. You know what I mean? So for the most part, there weren't a lot of references and shit. Like, not as many as people made it out to be, but there was still enough here for me, just like on a conceptual level, on the fact that they put the time and the energy into thinking this universe out and making sure it made some kind of semblance of, like, you know, sense, but it also was its entirely own removed thing. That's what I was talking about. That's my thing. That's what I fucking love about this shit.
I agree. Ooh, something that I love that justifies Sonic calling him Eggman is how he, like, gives nicknames to all the townspeople. Like,
yeah,
Crazy Carl,
I didn't even think about that.
Donut Lord. Yeah,
wow.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he called him Eggman based on the shape of his robots just, like, made me scream.
Right.
Oh my god. I was like, yo, he called him Eggman. I'm like,
yeah, because
then,
oh no, go ahead. I've been talking for way too much.
No, it's done. So, like, if he does come back in the, you know, since they've erased all existence of Robotnik, this gives him more of an excuse to use the name Dr. Eggman. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Plus, he's gone insane too. You know what I mean? It'd be a real insane thing if he took the name that was, like, given to him and he just, like, ran with it. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be dope as fuck. Like, I also like how they infused his game design with character development, you know what I mean? Because Eggman looked goofy in and of himself, you know what I mean? No normal looking person would look like that, you know what I mean? So they just fucking made him crazy. Yeah, they just made him crazy, and I like that. It was a very natural, level of insanity, you know what I mean? A very natural progression of insanity, you know? And that's something I can fuck with. More than
he grew crazier.
Right, yeah, you know, you could visibly see him getting more and more upset and being more and more fixated on, you know, taking Sonic out, and that's some shit I fuck with. That's some shit I really like.
Are we gonna go over, like, our the things we, like, disliked about it?
Yeah, but we have to finish the positives. It's True Blue's turn, unless you have anything else you gotta say.
Hasn't taken his turn yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I give the movie, as a Sonic fan, an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, but critically, I probably give it, like, a 6.5 to 7.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 myself. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, True Blue.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the first thing I'd like to point out that I really loved about the movie is the parallels that Sonic has to Robotnik and Tom. In the games, what we just have is, like, a machine versus nature kind of thing, and that's kind of, I think that's how deep it really goes. But then once with the Sonic movie, firstly, you have Sonic and Robotnik, and obviously both of them were orphaned, but they were kind of raised differently. So while Sonic was orphaned, but he had a loving owl mother at the beginning, at least, and he kind of, he grew up with morals, and he loved social interaction. He loved someone at one point that he lost, so that's what he's always been longing for. While with Robotnik, he was orphaned, but he had no one. Everyone was kind of against him, so he learned to hate. And so I love how basically Robotnik and Sonic are two sides of the same coin, basically. And they kind of do it with Sonic and Tom too. While Sonic never had, Sonic's childhood was terrible. Obviously, he lost the people he loved, and he was a loner. While Tom, on the other hand, he was a happy dude. He followed his family. His family were cops as well, and he kind of grew up with the whole town loving him. And so when Tom said that he was leaving for San Francisco and Sonic got mad, I kind of thought it was a little forced. But now, as I kind of think about it a little more, I see that Sonic, he's gone through a lot, and this is definitely a pretty realistic reaction to. I feel someone would actually feel that way. Sonic actually, has actual human feelings. It's not a forced plot point. I will say it was kind of resolved in a really awkward way, but I think just in general how they got Sonic and Tom to kind of be opposites, it felt kind of natural. Yeah. And I think the action scenes were also pretty good in the movie as well. I still don't like the fact that they were just X-Men Quicksilver ripoffs, but they were still really well done for what they were. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Sonic is all about speed, and there's a whole character based on speed, they were able to add it in a little more compared to the X-Men movies, and it was a whole lot more creative. Mm-hmm. And Sonic's character development, I'm going to build off of the whole character parallels thing. So, I don't know, it's like you guys have said before, it's nice to see Sonic change as a character. He's always been a static character, he's never learnt anything. The most character development I feel that Sonic has had was in Lost World, where he was fighting with Tails, but that was so awfully done. I can't even I don't count it at all.
Right.
Lost World.
Yeah, but seeing Sonic develop from a lonely kid, and with what Fizz said something of before, he was like, oh, why couldn't Sonic just get a map and run to San Francisco? It's because he wanted to stay with Tom. I saw that scene and I was like, no, Sonic's lying, dude. He can easily get there.
When I watched
it, sink into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, when I watched it again, you have to go past San Francisco to go into the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to go past.
I knew that. I was just,
And also, I think it's a thing where it's also visual storytelling. This movie's very good at having Sonic emote and have his feelings be straight up displayed on his face than anything else. And in that scene particularly, the second two times I saw this movie, I was always looking at his face, and he always looks very sad when he gets out the car. He just sort of looks at him, and then that's sort of reinforced by how he gets back into the car and he's like, yes, let's go, let's do this road trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's also nice too, because I think it's very important how at the beginning of the movie, he says, my favorite person is Donut Lord. He protects the people of Green Hill. You know what I mean? It gives him motivation to become that hero, to become the Sonic that we know. You know what I mean? The ironclad hero who's confident, who never wavers, who never backs down. He's had someone like that in his life. And, that's sort of the inspiration of him being like, I'm sick of running. I'm not going to run anymore. I'm going to stay and protect the things that I care about. So that's some shit that I was really down for. That made me very happy. And on the topic of that, what really got me, I know I told you guys this before. I think this happened when I came into a call and I was drunk. But I remember this was like this was the day I saw the movie. I came into the fucking call. I was drunk as fuck. I probably cried. I don't know if I did, because I'll be honest, I blacked out.
You did.
But I remember I specifically said that the baseball scene was the one that hit me the most, because after he's done playing, he looks around and he says, "I'm really alone. I'm all alone forever." And he just starts running and he looks so angry and upset, and that's some shit that like I feel sometimes, you know what I mean?
Real quick, can I build off of that that statement? So like during the baseball scene, the thing that really hit me the most was probably the fact that he got so caught up in the game that he thought he was playing with real people. Yeah. And at that, he tried to run away from his problems. It's kind of just it's in Speed Me Up too. I'm dealing with this pain and I just can't let you come throw it away, so I run. So it was kind of just like, I felt really bad for Sonic though.
I really honestly, that shit really got me. I saw it at a time I really needed to see it. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, I was going down a downward slope. It was a spiral, dude. And this movie was the one thing I was looking forward to, and I didn't enjoy it that much the first time because of extenuating circumstances and shit. These asshole ass kids were in the back making noise the entire movie, and they weren't kids actually. Let me not say kids; they were fucking teenagers. They were like my age, so that was a thing. But. No, yeah. So they fucked the first viewing up for me. I'm glad I went to go see it again though, because I enjoyed it so much more the second two times. But I saw it at a time where I really needed to see it, especially coming from a character I really like, a character that means so much to me that I really care about. I like it just like that was really nice to see, low-key, and that one line, that one scene made the entire movie for me. The whole rest of the thing could have been fucking fart jokes, but that one scene, there was one, but that one scene really made it for me. And to be fair, kids actually eat that shit up. The second time I watched this movie, every single kid in the theater laughed at all of the fart jokes. So now I understand why they put them in. Yeah, kids really fuck with those, So
was there more than just the chili dog one?
I thought it was
there was the one in the baseball
he was doing
scene.
the armpit thing.
Yeah.
All the farts.
Yeah, and then he got out of the bag and he said this bag smells like it was like pickle farts or some shit.
Oh, yeah, and he burped or something.
Something. So yeah, that was the thing. But I know this is very much a personality movie. Seeing his personality shine, seeing it blossom and bloom, and that was really nice to see. I love, I'm not a big fan of the Quicksilver scenes just because that's not Sonic's type of fast. I don't look at it that way, at least. I feel like that kind of goes against the character because when you slow, in the series as a whole, because when you slow down all the action like that, it kind of goes against the core foundation, the core philosophy behind the original games, which was to keep the pace going and to adapt.
It removes any sense of danger.
To be fair, there was one really good scene that stemmed from that, which was the scene on the AmeriCorps building. I think that's what it was called. But the one thing I like how when he slows down, he does the idle animation from Sonic 1. That was really nice. And then he starts blowing everything up and whatever. And then, Eggman's finger is getting closer and closer to the button. He hits that shit. The Eggomatic is electrified and he goes all fast and shit. The music stops. It's just silence and he's still joking around and shit. And he sees Eggman and he's like, oh, fuck. And then after that too, something that I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when he gets shot and he loses all of his rings and stuff, when he grabs the ring out of the air with his quill, you can hear the little ring sound effect, like the ring collect sound effect. So if you listen for it, you'll see it. And I also like how after he got hit, he dropped all of his rings. It was a very creative way to have that be in the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would. one thing that you and True Blue both mentioned, and part of this, on one hand, it pisses me off. On the other hand, I understand why some people would dislike it. Were the Quicksilver jokes? To me, like the whole, it spits in the face of the original concept of going fast in the classic games. To me, that's just dissecting the joke and killing it. So that's not really the point. The other thing that annoys me, this doesn't have to do with the movie itself. This has to do with people talking about the movie. Is the fact that the only way that I could tell you what I'm talking about is if I call it the Quicksilver scenes, which everyone else calls it the Quicksilver scenes. Everyone that I hear ever talks about those jokes, they either they just don't like it because it's not funny, in which case that's fine. Comedy is subjective, or the fact that they're like, oh, Quicksilver did it first, and that annoys the hell out of me because that joke,
he didn't.
That joke is so niche. It's so specific to the situation. You can only have super speedy characters or characters with some, time dilation powers to pull that joke off. I mean, Avengers did that joke a little bit. There's another movie I know about that did that joke a little bit, but everyone's
Justice League.
Yeah, Justice League did that joke a little bit, and everyone was like, X-Men, Quicksilver did it first. You guys are just caught. I'm like, so what? It's a joke. No, like, when are you ever going to get the chance to say that joke?
Right. For me, that's honestly, yeah. For me, it's just like my biggest thing is I would prefer. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I would prefer not to see it in a Sonic movie, just because like it's not because Quicksilver did it first. I just like would prefer that one scene where he's running at the drone and he like skates on the EMPs and then he throws it. That's the type of Sonic speed I want to see more of. You know what I mean? So I would have preferred if there were more scenes like that. My issue isn't necessarily the fact that it's a quote unquote Quicksilver thing. It's more so like Sonic speed is like real fucking cool in a lot of different ways. So hone in on those, that because that's unique. We haven't seen that on like in cinema before. You know what I mean? Right. So hone in on that.
Like, I can definitely agree. And personally, I don't have a preference between the two. I actually like both. Like definitely that's fair. The bomb skating scene you're talking about, I thought that was awesome. The action scene at the end where they're running through the rings and teleporting across the world, I thought those were amazing. But the reason why I personally really enjoyed the Quicksilver jokes is even though, if you dig really deep into it, which you shouldn't really have to because, it's a joke. But even if you did really dig into it, I can understand and agree with the point that, it doesn't really match the characteristics of Sonic's speed, but it does match the characteristics of Sonic's personality. It very clearly in this movie is, a childish, fun-loving kid who's a teenager who just wants to have fun. And I think that this joke was kind of like a great way to show that off, to say that, Sonic is obviously super speedy, and he, regardless of the situation, he could probably outrun it, but, he's just here to have fun, and he's just here to, enjoy life to the fullest. And to me, that's all that really mattered to me with the joke, to me, but,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We should call it Sonic Force.
Didn't they do like a Quicksilver thing in Sonic?
And also, I'd like to point out that personally, I'm cool with those scenes because they bring Sonic closer to another animal. If y'all ever see Over the Hedge, hand me this world.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no, fuck.
Ah, shit.
The Speed Force? Oh, no.
He said
Yes,
Over
sir,
the Hedge.
Hand
I
me
was
this
like,
world.
fuck.
Get out that bush, buddy.
Bro, Over the Hedge was fire though.
It's a good movie, but not the one we were talking about.
All right, let me continue with my list of.
Yo, did we fucking interrupt you?
Wait, are you doing like your list, or are you doing your first impressions? Because that's what we were doing.
Okay, well, they're both kind of the same thing, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, that's a good way. We'll start from him and then we'll go back up. Let's do that.
Yeah. Cool. Anyways, what was I up to? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna build off what Mono said about the visual storytelling. This movie does not treat you like a kid. Like maybe the jokes are childish, but in terms of the story, it's very it doesn't tell you everything straight up right up. It uses movements, expressions to actually tell the story. And I haven't seen the movie a second time, but I've gone on YouTube and watched clips and stuff. And watching through a second time, I'm noticing like certain things that happen in the movie that kind of bump up the story, I guess, that that I didn't notice the first time. I'm like, oh yeah, because Sonic becomes this way later in the movie. He kind of did this thing. So again, there's a similar scene with the fish on my head scene, where they get to the building, the pyramid, the whatever it's called building, and Sonic runs in and he's like, nope, I can't get through. There's like the locked door. But in the beginning of the movie, you actually see Sonic is able to run up buildings. So that really, someone actually pointed that out as a plot hole in a review, but. Again, I think that's just Sonic. He just wants to spend a little more time with Tom, so he's just kind of getting Tom to come along with him.
For which one? For which one? Say that again. Sorry.
When they were getting the ring off the building, Sonic said he couldn't get up there, but he can run up buildings.
Yeah, I thought of that too. I was just like, why doesn't he just run the fuck up there? But you know.
Yeah, but he kind of looks like he looks like really stern, and he looks like he just kind of planned to say that right after he came back, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So. You know, definitely like things like that you notice on a second viewing, and again, that's really good. I don't feel like I see that a lot in movies these days.
Right. Okay. All right. Is that it? Did you get it all?
I think so. There are a few other points, but I forgot them. So if it comes back to my head, I'll just interrupt.
Back to you, Shibo.
Wait, what happened?
It's your turn. Did you come up with a list of negatives too? Right?
Oh, we're talking about negatives.
Oh, we're on negatives now.
Wait, I thought we were talking about positives.
Oh wait, we're still talking about positives. I thought.
Yeah.
Luckily,
was the end of the positives.
Luckily, I do have a list of negatives.
Yeah.
Okay. So, something that that I don't know if this was just me, but like for a Sonic movie, it felt really fast, especially the first time around. Like I haven't seen it more than once yet, but it just felt like a really fast movie. I feel like it could have been a bit longer, but obviously budget reasons and stuff, so I can understand to an extent. And I don't know if
it's also like it's a kids movie too, which tend to be just an hour and a half long.
That is true. I don't know if I'm the only one that had a problem with this one, but I feel like there wasn't enough high-speed action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because like most of the action scenes that we did get far spread and in between to like and then the fart joke. Yeah, I sort of just had that down because like it was one of those eye-rolling jokes that I was like, the DeviantArt artists are gonna love this one.
Why is that the first thing you think of?
The fucking DeviantArt artist.
You got so to a bit?
Nah, bro.
Okay. So I just figured out, this is irrelevant, but I just figured out why the thing kept pausing. It was because apparently now if you talk for too long on Discord, it just automatically mutes your Spotify.
Really?
Hello?
Yeah, so I mean, the next time we do something like this, I guess I'll just put the playlist on YouTube. That works. By the way, too, guys, we made a playlist for this, so if you want to check out the playlist, it's in the description.
Continue.
Being promoted by Sega.
Yes,
Sega officially fucked. They're like, MonoCRYPTIC, I really love that time. They're like, MonoCRYPTIC, I really love that time you called us monkeys. That really resonated with us. So we wanted to sponsor your debate, and here we are. Officially sponsored by Sega, baby. But no, yeah.
In the middle.
Where were we at? Were you finished?
No, I wasn't.
Okay,
so, the thing that really killed it for me was Sonic floss twice. Like, I can get like the, I can get like the first time, but then like when he got his like new room and everything, the floss just sort of seemed unnecessary there.
Yes.
And I feel like Sonic and Robotnik needed more face-to-face interactions and banter because they obviously have a really cool like hero-villain dynamic going on, and I want to see more of that, but we didn't get too much of it, if that makes sense. Like we've only ever seen him really interact with his robots and everything, and not him besides the final confrontation. And it was just like, don't get me wrong, those scenes were amazing, but we could have seen more of that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your turn, Plymouth. Negatives.
All right, sorry about that. It was ice water. So am I going on like the whole list of stuff I disliked, or are we saving some shit for later? How we?
Just going to all of it now. Like, I just want to get this list stuff out so we could get a little bit more free with I just wanted to have something to start the conversation. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. Cool. All right. So definitely my biggest problem with the movie. Like, I don't really hate anything in the movie, but the biggest issue I had was honestly, like, the score. Like, I don't think the music in and of itself was bad, you know what I mean? But I feel like with, like, given that it's a Sonic movie, a series well known for its music, even by its worst detractors, you think you, like, would implore, like, obviously you don't have to, like, remix every song and, like, do all that shit, you know what I mean? You could still make an original score, but at the same time, like, it didn't really feel like a Sonic movie score.
Yeah,
it just kind of felt like a score.
Yeah, like, I agree with you there. I like the score, but I like it as a movie score, I guess. I've listened to the whole thing on its own. Like, I think I've listened to it twice on its own, and it's a decent score for a film. You know what I mean? But when you're looking at it from the lens of this is a Sonic soundtrack, it's definitely really weak. Like, I've always been interested in me personally, and if I ever, if I ever get the chance to make my own movie, I think it'd be really interesting to bring in a game composer for them to make music for a movie, I know movie scores need to be non-intrusive so that you can focus on what's going on screen, like what the characters are talking about and whatnot. But I've always been interested to see how someone who typically specializes in these upbeat, energetic tracks would translate that to something that would be for a movie. And it's not impossible. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, Unleashed has a very movie-esque score that works really well. Because I've listened to Unleashed soundtrack.
That's the kind of vibe that I got from the score.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Yeah, I've listened to Unleashed soundtrack plenty of times. Like, I have an entire playlist of just all three of them together on my Spotify, so I could listen to it from start to finish. You know what I mean?
I'm stealing that from you.
Yes, sir. But it's just it's so fucking. It's so fucking crazy, mainly just because of the fact that, like, when you listen to it and whatnot, it sounds like a whole movie, you know what I mean? Even considering the game themes and stuff like that. I feel like the game themes would even be able to work if you, replace that and substituted a movie track with a theme from, like, Unleashed or some shit like that. I think it all works. So, for me personally, if they do a sequel, I think it would be really cool if they brought on Sonic composers. I know they used Friends, you know what I mean? So they're not against it. Right. You know what I mean? Game music can work in this movie because it worked fine in that opening scene. We got to talk about Baby Sonic actually. But we'll do that after this list or whatever because I want to finish all this shit, but it works fine as like from like a score perspective and stuff, but the fact that they used Friends in the fucking Unleashed is the best game. Unleashed is crazy. But the fact is this fucking CD music? Oh shit, dog. What happened? It's believe in yourself.
It's fucked up.
All right, let's go.
But that's it. That's it. Let's go on.
I mention one quick thing about that. Apparently, Hyper Potions had no idea they were using their song in the movie.
What?
Yeah, apparently they.
How is that possible?
No clue.
Because I'm pretty sure Sega owns the rights to the song.
Yeah, Sega owns the song.
Yeah,
so Hyper Potions had no fucking idea.
That's crazy.
They were credited cool, though, so that'd be a cool surprise if I walked into the theater and I heard some shit I composed. Yeah, believe in yourself.
Let's see,
I
what
feel
else
like it'd be cool. I feel like it'd be cool if Junkie XL collaborated with like Tomoya Otani and Lopes and Jun Sonoy and stuff. Like that'd be really dope. For like a score for the sequel, but that's my 2 cents. Go on, Plymouth.
Yeah, I think it works fine as a score. Like, Khalifa mentioned a point earlier that like what's it called when Robotnik was like coming out of the smoke and shit. The theme was like really menacing. Like it still works well as a score, but it's just not like.
Imagine if they used fucking his in-game theme. Where it's like,
that's what I was thinking they would do. But,
that shit would hit different.
That
shit would have hit different, dog. Damn. Shit.
That would have been fire.
What's it called?
Then it cuts out and it says, "Are you in charge here?"
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Another like thing to me, like obviously this is like a fine movie and it like stands on its own, but it felt it felt like it was just like preparing itself for like a sequel. You know what I mean? It's not like it can't work on its own. It's not like if it doesn't get a sequel, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Well, aside from like you know, end of that, but like at the same time, like, it still very feels like it's like setting like a sequel up or maybe even a trilogy. You know what I mean? And that was kind of weird because like for me, I feel like films should be able to like have sequels that work, but at the same time not feel like it's specifically setting up for them. Aside from like a fringe case like you know Infinity War and Endgame, obviously there was like 2 parts. You know what I mean? So that's different. But like for a game, this is this fucking Sonic movie. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's not a big deal, but it was something that kind of like stood out to me. And actually, no. Here's probably my biggest problem with the movie. Like, I was willing to like just stick with like the electricity motif because I was like, all right, that's normal. That's some normal shit you see with speed people. So I was like, whatever. But like that power is like entirely controlled off of Sonic's emotions, and I know that was kind of the whole point. But at the same time, that just kind of it made the power seem like a lot more convenient. Like things happen like at a convenient time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like it doesn't make sense. If you have a power like that comes out like when you're emotional, it's like an adrenaline rush sort of thing. I get that, but at the same time, like it kind of just it made things seem like a little less genuine and like how events like happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that
was
was
just
happens when he's upset though.
Yeah.
Like,
for me,
in the beginning, he was really just upset and frustrated. So he like caused an EMP that managed to knock out a satellite. I'm like,
right,
like, bro, imagine being mad enough to create an electromagnetic pulse that covers half a country and knocks out a satellite.
That should look beautiful. And okay, here's my thing. I still stand by the fact that the wind is a better motif for Sonic. Just because electricity is inherently chaotic, you know what I mean? The biggest thing that makes the wind work for the character is the duality of it. The fact that it can be very calm, but it could also be very turbulent. You know, yeah, you know what I mean? Like Sonic's not like, I think it works for his character as is in the movie right now, just because he's so hyper and energetic and shit like that. Yeah, he has a very chaotic energy about him in the movie, so I think having that chaotic element with him, you know, in terms of the lightning and electricity and stuff like that, I think that works. But electricity and lightning is just like inherently like fucking an asshole, you know what I mean? Like that shit will kill your ass. You know what I mean? There's no duality to that shit. It's just fucking terrible. Like you will get shocked, electrocuted. You know, and so for me, I personally think that like as a whole, wind works better, and I understand. I think it works for the character as is, but this Sonic is going to evolve into the Sonic from the games. You know what I mean? So, well, or at least I hope that's the path they're going down. So for me personally, I just can't like. I think it would have been honestly like more fitting if they just had some type of like static blue like flowing energy, something that wasn't like, you know, electric. They had that blue thing going on still, but you know, instead of electricity and shit, maybe it was something that looked more like a wind stroke or something like that. You know, I don't know, something that can that's just my biggest thing. You're losing the duality of that motif when you just replace it with electricity, because electricity is just it's just chaotic. You know what I mean? We can harness it to be better, but as it's like on its own, you know what I mean, that shit will kill you. So is anyone gonna say anything? Okay.
Oh shit, so yeah, it's still my turn.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I do think they could very easily translate it into wind later on. Sorry, someone's yelling in the background now, but I think you can translate electricity into wind, because like in other properties, like, you know, that 4 elements like water, earth, fire, air, usually like thunder and lightning are usually grouped in with like that sort of air.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? So like I think that is something they could like very easily do, and it's something I very much hope they do, because I agree, like Sonic lends himself much better to the wind not aesthetic motif
Yeah.
in general. That's making me think about it more. On the list I have too. Like I was gonna like put like Sonic's portrayal. I wasn't too into it, but like thinking about it more and like once again like what we know Sonic's gonna grow into, I'm kind of like okay with it. Well, at least more okay with it than I was, I guess. But it's what it was like. It was weird, at least to see Sonic be that way. You know what I mean? I mean, it's better than anything fucking Pontaff has put on the screen because all they've done is like tore their balls open and be like, "What we got here?" and thrown on.
I'd rather be masturbating.
Yeah, like I'd rather. I forgot about that. Oh my god. And then, another thing for me, I want to preface this before I say this. I don't want them shoving fan service like all up in my face. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie was a little like a little lax on that. You know what I mean? There were obviously like Easter eggs, like Crush 40 was on like Eggman's playlist. Like,
but you gotta look for that shit, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, they're Easter eggs. You know, like there's a difference between like it's cool to have Easter eggs. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's also like meaningful references that I would like to see as well. And once again, it's not like it didn't have any. You know. But for the most part, like I do think it could have done with more, so long as they weren't like in your face, like, hey, you know this Sonic, yeah, like Sonic, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do like how like the fart joke, like in the hotel, was like stupid, but I do like how like they kind of had a reason for it because it was like a chili dog shit. And I was like, it's not chili dogs.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, and what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some cool shit. The Sanic, I kind of rolled my eyes a bit when I saw Sanic. I was like, all right, but it made sense because it was fucking. What's his name? Crazy Carl?
This man just tweeted, "Eggman is like the word queer. It used to be an insult, but now Eggman wears it like a badge."
Oh my god. Okay, I mean she's not wrong. Fuck, what did I just say? What did I literally just say? Sanic. The Sanic one was like weird. I was like, alright. You know, it's whatever. But like it was Crazy Carl, so it was fine. You know, and yeah, that's pretty much like the only thing is like I disliked, except Longclaw was in there for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need more
Longclaw.
Yeah. What's it called? So this actually ties back to something. I'm just going to say this right now. But for me, most of my negatives I had to just get rid of because they provided reasonings for why there were so many negatives. The biggest being they were initially much more ambitious with the project, but they had to scrap so much because they had like a non-existent budget.
Low budget.
So that's why the movie is mainly live action. That's why the Green Hill segment only lasts for like 30 seconds. You know, that's why all this stuff is happening. It's just because they don't have the money to do anything. In the interview, they said the original draft of the movie had so much more world hopping, and they would go from world to world like they did zone to zone in each game. I mean, in the original games.
Aliens, right?
Yeah. So they had a lot more planned, but they had to cut it because, you know, CG characters are expensive, CG worlds are very expensive, and they just couldn't, you know, do that. Like Sonic was more than enough already, so they couldn't, they just couldn't do that. So they had to revise the draft, their original draft of the script to fit with this. And it, like, you know, I understand that, you know what I mean? Like, I get why. It's disappointing to hear, but that's just all the more reason for this movie to, like, be successful. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a sequel. This is Paramount's most successful film in the past from the past 2 years. You know what I mean? So I'm positive we're gonna get a sequel. I think it's at like 125 million right now. But you know, like
it's expected to hit like 200 million, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm hoping it gets to, by the time it's, you know, out of the box office, which would probably be around June. That's when it'll stop showing in theaters and stuff. I'm hoping that once it gets to that point, what's it called? They have enough money to be like, okay, let's greenlight a sequel.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty much happening.
Yeah, I hope so.
I sort of have a theory to, well, like, this movie is obviously doing well. So, like, I sort of have a theory to where, like, maybe if they greenlight a sequel, they might announce it like by this time next year, and then like they should drop it on a Tuesday just so it on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I miss that shit. I miss that shit.
Just
Well, I wasn't
like
alive. Yeah, I wasn't alive when they did that, but I would love to see some more, like I would like to see them bring back some old fucking marketing strategies. They better have blast processing over the entire fucking next movie. Dog.
Processing.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that Olive Garden came in and saved the movie with their never-ending pasta.
Because when you're there.
Never end.
Your family.
Yo, I just thought of something.
Okay, so that was a big negative for me, actually. The product placement was not at all. It was very shameless. You guys could have had a little bit more tact with that. Like, it reminds me of Krispy Kreme in the Power Rangers movie, how they made that a plot point.
Was that the Krispy Kreme?
Yeah, how they made it a plot point, and this bitch sat down for like 3 seconds eating a fucking Krispy Kreme donut. I was like, yo, dog.
Krispy Kreme.
Yo,
I think I would agree with that to an extent, but I think that only really applied to like Olive Garden for me personally. And like even then, they only mentioned it twice, so I can kind of look past it. Other than that, the only real product places I remember is like Toyota, which is just like a fucking. Logo.
There was the Zillow line where she said that like shit. I was like, because they said I found these apartments on Zillow, and then the shot was on the fucking Zillow laptop for like 10 seconds, and I was like, all right, guys.
Yeah, like I didn't, but like at the same time, I didn't mind too much because like. Zillow is just like a place you would go to look for apartments, you know what I mean? So obviously it was product placement, but it didn't really take me out of it that much because like I that's probably what I would use.
You're right.
Honestly, it felt like it was parodying a commercial for a second, and I just laughed at it like it was. I thought it was like a joke in the movie.
I couldn't tell if it was them making a joke or them just like just bad writing. Like I was confused.
And I'm gonna be honest, the Zillow website looked like a fake mock-up you'd see in like a low-budget TV show or something. So I thought it was like a fake made-up website that for like the movies. I don't live in America, so I don't know what you Americans use for finding houses.
We use Zillow. No, we don't use Zillow.
I use Google Maps.
I use hotel.
find a fucking house on Maps and rob the bitch. I really like this one. Let's go here.
He's got rigs to go there.
It's like the one SpongeBob meme when he's wearing the mask and the gun.
Yeah, I was also wondering. This is another plot hole, right? But they needed to explain why Maddie's sister didn't like Tom, because there was absolutely no reason for that to be the case. Tom sounds like a good fucking hardworking dude. You know what I mean? He worked 3 jobs to put her ass through college and keep the two of them afloat. He protects an entire city on his own. What about this man screams deadbeat to you? So I'll be honest. My mind was like, it's because this nigga's white. It's because he's Caucasian. He comes from the Caucasus Mountains. That's what I thought. But
she
wouldn't
had
call
like
that much
big black mom energy.
that ass.
EIVORCE.
Yeah.
Like she reminded me a lot of my mom, but more generic.
I wouldn't really call that much of a plot hole, but I definitely agree that was super fucking annoying. I agree with that.
Because it's like I don't have an issue with that, but like you have to have some actual legitimacy, like some ground for that to be a thing that I find 100% funny. Once again, man, Tom's an upstanding dude. He didn't do shit, so I'm just left here confused, wondering like, what about like why do you not like him? You know what I mean? It's not that you can't like him. It's just like why don't you like him or not like him? I mean.
I liked her daughter more than I liked her, and her daughter had like 2 lines.
I like how her daughter just let her like stay there tied up and started walking around like, gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
I actually did like her sister. I thought her sister was funny. It was just like once again one of those things where it was like, you gotta have to kind of explain that joke a little bit in order for it to like really, really work, because there are some good lines, like the fucking "This is my house" line had me reeling in the theaters. That shit is funny every time. Her fucking delivery, her performance, that shit was beautiful. This is my house.
It's not that funny.
Like that.
This is my house, and then she just fucking dies.
Because just fucking
Yeah.
squeals over.
That shit was fucking
Personification of
hilarious.
I'll make you eat those words.
But what did she say to her daughter when she was running around? She's like, put on my,
She's like, JoJo, put on my
Fitbit.
Fitbit. I could get some steps in. That shit had me dying.
Is that another product placement?
Maybe, but that felt
Yeah,
a little bit more
probably.
natural. you
Yeah, I
know?
think Fitbit's just like a thing. It's kind of like how Crock-Pot's a brand, but
how like
just
people called
Crock.
bandages band-aids. That's sort of what it is.
right.
It's when the product
Yeah.
becomes synonymous with the object.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't a big deal.
You
Olive
know,
Garden-
you know what's funny?
Restaurant.
That's when they revoke your trademark. When the thing becomes synonymous with the product, you can't trademark that shit anymore. Like you know,
my
like
God.
as a product, you know what I mean. You like if you're selling a line of bandages and you're naming them band-aids. You know, you're infringing on their copyright and their trademark. You know what I mean. But generally, if like in a movie or whatever, you wouldn't have to pay someone to say band-aid because it's synonymous with bandages.
Right.
So.
Was there
Yeah.
anything else that you had, Plymouth? Or
Sorry, let me open this shit up again. Oh, nice show.
all right, is
Was I supposed to talk about my
my
dislikes?
turn or?
Yeah,
you
I'm,
were dog.
Okay,
I
wait,
didn't.
Wait,
Okay,
so what's the order now?
you talk. Let's have him do his dislikes first, and then we'll go back to Fizz.
All right.
All right. So I think what you said about the story before, how like how they tied up Maddie's sister and all that, that was really weird because that at the end of the movie that kind of ties into one of the reasons why Tom didn't go back to San Francisco. They were just like, oh, we left your sister tied up there. We can't
can
go
never
back
go back."
anymore, which is so weird. That made no sense. And I don't know. I feel like Tom's story in general was a little awkward.
Yeah.
There was the whole thing about how like Sonic was just like, oh, like the townspeople call you to do like a bunch of menial things, and I didn't get that sense from the beginning of the movie. It just kind of felt like they dropped it in. Like I think it could have been a little better. Like they could have shown that a little more in the beginning of the movie to probably nail that in.
I think if you watched it again, you might get more of a sense of that because I got more of a sense of that when I watched.
Oh yeah,
it.
like I did rewatch a few scenes. Like there was him like letting the gooses or whatever, the ducks cross the road
Yeah.
and stuff. Like there's a bit of that there. It just didn't feel like he was
Donald
too
Trump,
in sync
yeah.
with the townspeople. I guess you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I can
and
see
then there was the other thing where he was set up to be, a terrorist. Now I don't necessarily think there's any plot holes with that. Like he was on the news for like one night. I think he can easily like get around without being noticed too much. But specifically when he went up the building, I think it would have been good if because Robotnik just kind of comes out of nowhere and finds them. I think it would have been good if like he walked past the administration lady and then she turns around and there's like a TV with him on the news. Like I don't know. It just feels like it would have cemented, made the plot go a little more. Like the plot would be a little more smoother if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But yeah, like it's mainly that I didn't get the sense that Tom was close to the townspeople. But I think, but I also did like that they never positioned you to think that Tom was a bad person for going to San Francisco. Again,
Right.
I think it works really well because this was mainly because Sonic, because of his childhood, how he feels. It was never really an objective like, oh, you're terrible for
Yeah.
moving to a big city. No, he's 100% justified for wanting to do that, but he I guess
it's one of those things where it's like I felt they were going for that you don't know what you have until you're about to lose it type deals.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. But that's why it also is a little bit awkward. His story's a little awkward because
Yeah.
he doesn't really need to stay, but he doesn't need to go as well. It's kind of just like do whatever you want.
Yeah. I get that, yeah.
And another thing, you guys, I've like probably mentioned it a billion times already, but it's not too faithful to the games. There are moments where they obviously show that they're really they really care for the source material, especially like that beginning scene. It kind of reminds me of that the opening scene in Bumblebee, where they have like this whole thing where the main character's on his world and they have to leave and stuff. And that was a really good scene. I had chills when the Paramount logo came on, and there were like rings, and then they had like a orchestral remix of Green Hill Zone.
Yeah,
And
I started crying.
I love that.
I teared up at the thought that we've been waiting for this movie since 2014.
Yeah. My friend, she asked me. She was like, how long have you been waiting for this? I was like, they announced this shit in 2014. She's like, damn.
God.
Yeah. It's also funny too.
I'm glad I didn't die before it came out.
She said something at the end that I thought was really funny. She was like, I enjoyed the movie, but Sonic was getting on my nerves, low-key. I thought that was funny. I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Sonic's voice did kind of get a little annoying later in the movie because he talks a lot and his voice is like really
high pitched,
and
you're just
really
like
unnatural. So it is kind of like it does get annoying.
Yeah.
He was like a mix between Ryan and Jaleel. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's not a good mix.
Yeah, I think for me, I think this is fine. I think this kid Sonic they were going for is fine, but I really want like for me like I like to see development with the character, but I personally just am so attached to the cool composed Sonic that's the character to me. So you can do other takes on the character. Like I'm fine with this because it's an origin story, but at the end of the day, I still want my Sonic. You know what I mean? Like, cause this is there are glimpses of him here. You know what I mean? But I kind of want like my Sonic, like cool, calm, collected, reserved Sonic that only really talks when he needs to. You know what I mean? Like so far, I think this is the last thing, but I was just gonna say, so far I think the best representation of that type of Sonic is Mania Adventures. You know what I mean? He doesn't talk in that shit at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he definitely has that attitude where he only really does something when he needs to. I think my favorite part of Mania Adventures is when Metal Sonic powers up and he gets excited just looking at him. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that I want to see more of. That's like the Sonic that I like. You know, because I'm not so into this series because I think it's campy or I think it's adorable or he's cute or some shit like that. It's because I think it's fucking cool. You know what I mean? So I want that cool factor to be brought back. That's what it was built upon beforehand. And I know that, you know, what it means to be a teenager has changed from 1991 all the way to 2020. But I still think that initial, like, quote unquote teenager attitude Sonic was built on back in the 1990s. I think that was the ideal for the character, and I personally think they should stick with that as opposed to, like, you know, changing it too much, just because that's what the character was built upon. That's why he resonated with so many people, you know. And I'm positive that, like, let's say that if they continued going on with Adventure, so after Adventure we got Heroes, and then maybe after that we got Adventure 3 or something like that, you know what I mean? I have a feeling Sonic would still be characterized that way to this day, you know what I mean? I think it's just because this character's characterization is so over the place at this point in time. You know, he was portrayed like that in the movie, and so for me personally, I think this is fine for a film or whatever. But I personally would like to see more of that traditional Sonic in the future.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I said this in like a chat once. This movie basically embodies why I hate origin stories. It's the character you like. But they're not the character you like, and they're becoming the character you like.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. I think I told. Did I tell you this, Plymouth? I don't know if I told you this, but I remember I told someone, I said, if a character doesn't have an origin story, there's no real reason for you to go out of your way to give them one, unless they're like a.
That because I was doing the Zeddy stuff.
Okay, yeah. There are exceptions to that, like with the Zeddy, you know what I mean? Because they have no fucking character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing there, so there it's fine to do an origin story, you know what I mean? Because it works. But if you have a character like Sonic that already has an established personality, you know what I mean? And from the very get-go, he was portrayed that way without him having a, you know, general progression into that arc, you know? I think I'm just not really into the idea of, like, you know, having an origin story for that character. character. It's sort of like how, you know, with the Spider-Man movies, they just stopped doing origin stories altogether, just because, you know, everyone knows the fucking origin story at this point. There's no reason to do that. It's like at this point we're more in love with what the character becomes than, you know, how the character got to that point. So for me personally,
you Spider-Man.
Yeah, like I guess that's like disregarding Spider-Man in terms of Sonic. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm in love with that character as he is now, not as like I personally just like, it's cool to see, but I really don't give a shit, man. I really don't care about how Sonic got to be Sonic. Like, that's not something I needed to know. And for me personally, something was always comforting about me thinking Sonic was just the way he was. That was just his natural disposition. You know what I mean? Something about that seems a lot more endearing to me than him having this whole crazy origin story or whatever. I like for me personally just thinking that that's the way the character's always been. Then, you know, he had this entire arc and this adventure that made him into the hero he is today.
I mean, I'm fine with having an origin story for Sonic. It's just I don't need a whole movie to explain it. I'd rather see Sonic like maybe be that way from the beginning, be his regular self, and then maybe explain it midway through the movie or something, or you know, just to give you a little bit of an idea of why he's what he's been through. But otherwise, I don't need like dedication to that stuff.
You know, for me, I'm thinking about it now. If I were to have a crack at this with just like using what they already laid out, you know what I mean? I honestly would have probably framed this in a way where his origin story was back on Green Hill, where he had some type of like big confrontation with the Echidna tribe, and that was when he learned that he really needed to start like, you know, standing up for himself and shit. And like as you go through the movie, you can see flashbacks of that through like interactions and stuff. Like I feel like that would be a much more natural way to do it, because at that point you're not dedicating an entire movie to that, you know what I mean? You're still getting parts of that origin story, but the movie isn't the origin story. There are just bits of the origin story sprinkled in the movie. So the origin story itself is like what, like say like 20 minutes or something, and then the rest of it is just straight up like, you know, the Sonic we know and love.
Yeah.
And like Shabao said before, there is not a lot of action in this movie, and again, that's because it's an origin story. He doesn't know he can spin dash and use his powers, so a lot of the times he's doing stuff by mistake, and the only action we see is, you know, those Quicksilver-esque scenes where he just kind of does regular human things while the world is, you know, frozen. It's so there's again, it's this just kind of makes it an unfaithful adaptation to me, because there's not a lot of actual Sonic in it. Same with you know, the lack of world hopping. I can still understand the lack of world hopping and all that because of the budget, but I feel like they could have still added a lot more Sonic elements to it. Eggman, I think Eggman still could have, like, you know, used there could have been a little more use of, I guess, animal-based, you know, robots and stuff, because they're just all sleek eggs. I liked how they used the egg robots to call him Eggman, but I think, like, you know, that giant truck at the beginning that keeps, like, you know, shooting out baby trucks.
Yeah.
Baby truck.
I think those robots' designs could have been a little more unique.
Truck burst.
They should have used the truck for a Sonic chase scene. They missed right there.
I think that would have been like a little too on the nose.
I think that would have been cool.
True.
You know what would have been dope as fuck? If, like, in the middle of the scene, right, Sonic takes the truck out of commission, and then the fucking, like, the top of the trailer just opens up, and the Eggomatic just, like, zooms out of it. Oh, that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah. And, like, I still think there are a lot of Sonic elements you could add to the movie, even though it's they're limiting the budget to realistic stuff, because there's games like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, which all have like levels and worlds inspired by real locations. Same with Unleashed. I think it was a really good choice to use San Francisco as one of the main locations, because Sonic Adventure 2 is all like designed around San Francisco. But like I said, again, they don't utilize it as much as they could. They could have gotten Sonic to run across the Golden Gate Bridge or something, but they only really did that in a poster. And they GUN could have been a legitimate thing in the movie. I don't think it should have been GUN, not like the Pentagon or something.
That would have been so fucking cool if it was GUN instead of the Pentagon. I would like that personally. I think that would have been cool.
And having like, I know, like the Lego Sonic movie I made was ironic, but there were genuine ideas in there I put in that I would love to see in the movie. Like I had Eggman work for GUN because the whole Gerald Robotnik thing happened with Shadow and stuff. So I had him work for GUN, and I just kind of like, I would have loved to see all that in the movie.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can definitely get that.
And also, I guess the simplistic story, you guys already mentioned that as well, so I don't need to go into that too much. But I guess this also ties into marketing, because the marketing spoiled a lot of things. And, it was just kind of like, I've seen this.
I already watched the whole fucking movie because I watched all the trailers and all the clips. So
and on top of that, I also read that Reddit leak or something.
Okay.
So a lot of things were just kind of like, I saw that coming. But I definitely think even if I didn't read the leaks, a lot of stuff was spoiled. The Sonic being given his shoes was publicly just released for some reason. That scene definitely shouldn't have been uploaded.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter all the time. Like I saw that
everybody
everywhere.
started uploading the mid-credit scene leaks.
Yeah, I didn't click on any of this shit, but I actually saw. I didn't even see the mid-credit scene. Someone literally just like fucking tweeted Tails, and I knew what the fuck they were talking about. I was like, God.
I still think the mid-credit scene was really good though. Like I saw a screenshot of it, and that's pretty much all I saw. When I actually did see it, I loved how like Tails jumps out and then the rock music plays, and it kind of reminded me of Sonic Adventure. So I kind of like the Sonic Adventure Tails, I guess, clicked in my head, and then he seemed really independent.
Yeah, bro,
and I really loved that.
He came out, he knew what the fuck he was doing. He's here. Yeah. I found him. I was like, okay, let's go, Tails.
Yeah, bro.
And I also really love how like Tails is actually really fast when he flies.
Yeah,
because that kind of works with how he can always keep up with Sonic in the games. Like, of course, don't make him like a super powered don't make him freeze time, but he was still significantly fast, which I really loved.
I'm pretty sure. Like when I was in the theater on Sunday, like me and my friend, we were just waiting for Tails. Then we both screamed Tails at the same time. One of our friends even said, "Yeah, we heard you two loud as hell." I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
No,
Tails was so good, but like he shouldn't have been leaked. Like people like that just ruined the movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That Tails scene popped up. I actually heard like 2 or 3 people in the theater yell, "My boy!"
You know what's funny? Funny?
Everyone in the theater cheered when Tails popped up.
Yeah, they saved the movie for me, right? Because Tails popped up. Every single person in that theater started screaming and clapping, and I was waiting for a reason to scream during the movie. You know what I mean? And then they gave it to me. Yeah. I was out of control. I was like, "Yeah, Tails, let's fucking go!" Like it was so cool, and that shit warmed my heart. You know what I mean? Because it's just like for the longest time I've been the only one I've known in real fucking life who likes this shit. So to see a group of total strangers be as excited as I am over this shit, that was real nice to see. I fucked with that. Yeah. Like some dad came in with a Sonic shirt and his 2 fucking kids. This man was introducing his kids to Sonic the Hedgehog. I was like, "Yo, dog, that's finna be me in a couple of years." God's work. Yeah, and that's why I got even more mad at the people in the row behind me, because they came in with the intention of making fun of the movie and they were cracking jokes the entire time. I was gonna say something to them, right? But the dad, he just turned around and he was like, "Hey, can you guys please stop talking?" You know? I was like, "Okay, all right, okay, Jared, okay, Smith." You know, nice job, bro. So I shut up for the rest of the movie. I'm watching the end credit scene. I'm getting annoyed because I can hear them talking behind me. You know what I mean? I know a mid credit scene is coming up, and I know they're gonna say some shit, right? It gets to the end credit scene. It gets to the mid credit scene, right? Tails, like Tails doesn't come up, but it's the panning shot of the forest and whatnot, and the guy just probably like, "Yes, more Sonic," and I turn around. I'm like, "Yo, can you guys stop talking? You've been talking this whole movie, and Lord help me, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you if you don't shut up for the next 2 minutes." They stopped talking. But I'll be honest. I was ready to fight. Yeah, I was.
Let me enjoy it.
Yeah, I was ready to fight the entire fucking row. They were all nerds, you know what I mean? So I knew I was gonna win, even if I took them all at once. Have them line up, get that ass whooping, you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter how
but-
many of them.
Yeah, you know, like the thing was, it was a genuine thing for a lot of people. You know what I mean? I wasn't the only one there who was going in with the sake of, like, you know, wanting to experience something that means a lot to me, like see it on the big screen. You know what I mean? It was a very genuine, real moment for a lot of the people there, and I can tell based on the way they were dressed and the fact that, the fact that a father walked in wearing a Sonic shirt with his 2 children, that shit had me. You know what I mean? And so when those guys were making fun of it, I was just like, some people are actually here trying to genuinely fucking enjoy. You know, there you go too. I'm black too, so they really shut up. Yeah, I'm black too, so they really shut up. I'm in white people town. You know what I mean? I'm less than the 1% here. You know, so if they see me, even like especially my dark ass, you know what I mean? In a black theater, I'm a fucking ghost. All they could see was my bright pink shirt. You know what I mean? It's like some supernatural shit. So I know they were scared. But that's like my thing, you know what I mean? That was my biggest thing. It was just like, you know, like this is a real genuine thing for some people. They're really here trying to enjoy this movie and like share it with, you know, the people they love and stuff. So for you to come in here with that attitude, like, stop being a fucking asshole. You're not cute. If you're gonna make jokes, at least be funny. None of these niggas were funny. They were just all annoying.
I had a tame theater, so no one even cheered when Tails came on.
Man, I just didn't want that kid to keep staring at me the whole time, dude. That shit was uncomfortable. He literally, it was just some kid. He would like stand up on his dad and lean over to his mom like, hey, look, that's Sonic. Look, that's a floss from Fortnite. That's that. They dead ass said that. That's a floss, mom. Bro, look, I told you Sonic movie be good, and then, like, when they were, you know, like, the scene where they're cleaning up the house and Green Hill was playing everything, deadass, this kid, without hesitation, without any warning, just stares at me. He just looks right at me, and I had to just ignore him for 5 whole minutes. So
I would have said, you want to catch some hands?
I would have been like, you like Shadow the Hedgehog?
You want to catch some fucking hands? I'm just kidding, I wouldn't say that. How old was the kid? How old did he look?
I think he was like, I want to say
for legal purposes.
Legal purposes. At the oldest, he was 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So
but I'm pretty sure he looked like a fucking little goober though. So he's probably 4.
Ass bitch.
Yeah. like his other brother was younger, but he was just sitting there. Like he would laugh at the movie and stuff. He wouldn't say nothing. He was sitting with his mom, and you know, this kid's like all up on his dad, all up in his view, and then he just looks right at me. And I know he's looking at me. I can't see his face, but I know what he's doing.
Right.
I know he's looking at me. I'm like, oh shit! Why is he looking at me? Why is he looking at the man? Burger made a joke too. He was like, "Hey, that's Plymouth the Cat from YouTube channel." He like 06. Shit.
What's it called? But someone was talking and we went on a tangent. Whose turn was it?
It's Fizz's turn. I'm done with my.
Okay.
Oh fuck! Sorry.
Jesus.
Rip Fizz.
He's not. Oh, he's here. Okay, never mind.
yeah, I'm here. I'm just very quietly listening.
Okay.
Felt that.
As for my points, I'll try to like give at least a positive spin on my points, despite them being negative, because I still have negative things about them. I just don't like being a super negative person. But,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try not to spend too long on them, although there is one that I would like to kind of talk about a little bit. The first one I have written down here is some of the CGI, even though for pretty much the most part, the CGI was really great. And one thing that the movie did that I thought was fucking genius was they had Sonic interact with very few things in the real world. Like very rarely was he actually interacting with something that someone else was also interacting with. Like, save for the select times where, you know, Tom was carrying him, or one scene that keeps popping up in my head is that bar scene where he tries to smash a bottle over the guy's head. Like,
there's also
scenes,
that one scene with the hat.
Clearly tell, with the hat. You can clearly tell like the rush job they did with the CGI there. And there are a couple of other locations, but for the most part, the CGI was great. Yeah. But you could definitely tell whenever Sonic did interact with something, it was, you know, they tried not to bring too much attention to it because they knew it just wouldn't look good. You know,
For me, the part where the CGI was the worst was when Eggman says, "Look what came out of my egg sac." The drones they look fake. They look like straight up fake in that. And I've seen the movie every time I see it. I'm just like, yeah, those just look fake. I saw it the first time. I was like, yeah, those just look straight up fake.
yeah, I can kind of see that. I didn't pay too much attention to the drones.
I know
though.
how with the drones, like they were using like these cube maps, so it's supposed to be like fake reflections on the drones. They were doing that because obviously they don't have an actual like 3D environment to work in. They're like plugged into like what's it called? They're plugged into like a real life setting. And while for an organic character like Sonic, you can do that because realistically most of what you're doing is just for lighting purposes. For such a glossy like little mech thing, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it's actually in the environment because it's reflecting so much of shit that's just not there.
They kind of looked like plastic rather than metal, to be honest.
Right. Though in fairness, like
I
you
think
can,
it was
polish.
yeah.
Shit really
For me,
bad.
it was just that one scene where the CGI looked bad. I think the rest of the scenes with the drones looked fine.
Yeah, I thought so too. But you know, like I said, I think they played it smart, where they tried to limit how much of the physical world Sonic interacted with. But in the few scenes that he does interact with stuff, you can clearly tell that it was a little bit of a rush job. Another thing that I didn't really care for, and you mentioned this earlier, and to an extent I agree with, but the reason I'm bringing it up is actually an entirely different reason, were a lot of the advertisements and the commercials for the movie and such. A lot of them were misleading. Like a lot of the advertisements for the movie painted the movie as like a buddy road trip film, and only like 1/3, if even that, is even actually a buddy road trip film. Like they spend very little time in the actual car itself, like traveling. Most of it is either in Green Hill or in the bar or in San Francisco. But a lot of the advertisements advertise the movie as like a buddy road trip film or a buddy cop film, and it really wasn't that. So I kind of wonder if people who saw the trailers thought like, oh, that'd be a funny buddy film or whatever to go watch, and they come in there and it's not that at all. Like I don't know if that ruined it for people. It didn't really ruin it for me, but it could have ruined it for other people.
I actually feel like that would have like enhanced the experience. I feel like once you get to the end and then you see all the cool action scenes, it would have been like it would have like exceeded your expectations.
Well, it could have either exceeded your expectations, or you could have felt lied to in a way. Like, oh, I was expecting a buddy film and only like, or a road trip film, and only like 30 minutes of it was actually in the car. So yeah, you could see it as a positive. I'm sure other people did not, but you know, I don't think it was a major issue. It was just something I noticed in the advertisements for the movie. And another thing, Plymouth here mentioned it, and I definitely 100% agree with him, were the references in the movie. I agree that I don't think the movie needed to shove, Sonic references down our throats. Because obviously the more references and nods to the movies and the fans and things like that you give to the fans, the more you're alienating the casual audience. So I can understand why they didn't, shock the movie full of them. But I do think that the references they did add could have been a little bit less obscure, and they probably could have added just a little bit more just to make the movie feel a little bit more familiar to fans. And probably one other issue, I definitely don't want to go too far into this one, was, I don't know if anyone's even mentioned this one here before yet, was the wife. I don't remember her name, Pretzel Lady?
Maddie,
yeah. She was, I'm not complaining about her character, because the actress, she did a great job. I actually 100% believed in like the relationship that her and Tom had. I thought that as characters they interacted really well, and whenever she was on screen with Sonic, I thought it was really nice. But she was so underutilized in the movie. She had like a couple of scenes in the beginning with Tom, and then she helped Sonic get better, at the end whenever they faked Sonic's death, I guess. But other than that, she didn't really play a role, and the way that they made her character look and the way that she played her character made me wish there was actually more of her. Like usually when a character is underutilized, people say, oh, they could have been removed and nothing would have changed. And to an extent, that's kind of true. But to be honest, I would have preferred to have seen more of the character. Like I would have actually liked to have seen more of the wife.
Yeah,
because she seemed like a character that would have interacted really well with both Tom and Sonic, and we just didn't get a lot of her.
Maybe in the
Like
sequel.
when I saw like Sonic, not Sonic, when I saw Tom and Maddie interact, like it was kind of cringy, but like I also found it like endearing. Like they were like a genuine couple. It was
I
actually
mean,
really nice.
I feel like couples do some cringy ass shit like that though. So
Yeah, so it felt genuine.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but
I get a girlfriend. You better bet your ass I'm gonna be doing cringy ass shit.
yes, sir.
And the last thing, you did mention this earlier, but I actually partially kind of disagree with you saying earlier, was Jim Carrey's Eggman. Now, I loved Jim Carrey the entire movie. I thought he was super energetic. He definitely poured his heart and soul into the character. But you can definitely tell he took some creative liberties with the character, and I don't think they're all necessarily negative. But to me, Eggman, unless you're talking like Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, Eggman was never an intimidating character to me. To me, he was a person who always thought himself to be intimidating, or always tried his best to be intimidating, but always failed. Like, he is a brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I think he can.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to push the button down.
I think he can be intimidating. You know what I mean? Like I said, I always think back to Eggman and Sonic Adventure. I think he was genuinely intimidating at points in that game. And even if he isn't, you know what I mean? I would like Eggman to be intimidating at times, you know? Like, he doesn't have to be, like, super serious, but it's sort of like how they handle Bowser in the Mario games, where, you know, Bowser, you know, he's not, like a serious villain, you know what I mean? But he's intimidating enough to pose a genuine threat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. To be honest, the reason I disagree is because, you know, I don't really care for Eggman in the Adventure series. I think he was fine in Heroes and sometimes in Shadow. I don't know if it was because of his seriousness, but I think it's because they just didn't utilize the comedy that he had. Because in classic Sonic games and in the more recent modern Sonic games, like I've said this multiple times before, back before the movie came out, I thought Jim Carrey was a great pick because Eggman's a visually animated character. He's very visually funny. He, even though he sees himself as intimidating and, you know, not necessarily all-knowing, but very megalomaniac, he's just not an intimidating character to me. And to me, Jim Carrey was a little too intimidating for the character, but I understand why he did it, because he definitely saw Robotnik as a villain, and he tried to treat Robotnik as a villain, which is fair. I don't think he was wrong in doing so, but whenever I looked at him, I just thought artist's rendition of Eggman, not actual Eggman.
Yeah, I can get that, but for me, I feel like Eggman is a character that's been butchered since fucking Colors. So for me to see Eggman in somewhat of an intimidating position, for it to see him like pose a threat, that's what I like. And like I said before, even if that's not what the character is, I would like for the character to become that. I want Eggman to be a very natural blend of, you know, intimidating and what's it called? You know, I guess lighthearted, not lighthearted, but comedic, yeah, a blend of comedic and intimidating, you know what I mean? And that kind of like very dry humor he has in the movie, that dry, very rude, like, you know, like just like straight up like asshole-ish humor that he has, like that's kind of like what I like want for the character, you know what I mean? Like if I were to write Eggman, honestly, that's the type of Eggman that I would write. So I can understand, like, you know, what you mean, but for me personally, like I think it was the perfect blend of the two, and I would like to see more of that, just because I'm really sick of Eggman being treated as like a punchline. I think he's a character that can genuinely be intimidating, and you can do really cool things with him, and I think they're doing really cool things with him. So it's just like, you know, I like that, you know, which is why I'm more excited to for the sequel, because he's just gonna be straight up like insane and that. So, you know, I'm down for that. Like, yeah, like it's just like that blend of like, you know, insane comedy or whatever. It's really nice. Like I like that. So.
Yeah, I think I can understand that. I mean, personally, I think the reason why I like Eggman being a bit more comical is because it feeds into his undoing more often than not. Because, you know, I can definitely see Eggman being a more intimidating character. And I can definitely 100% seeing Eggman seeing himself as an intimidating character. But to me, it's always been the fact that Eggman, despite being insanely intelligent, also bumbles around a bit. Is like, he's super intelligent, and if all fairness, he should have taken over the world years ago, but because of his own bumbling misdeeds, it's thanks to Sonic's speed and quick wit that he always, stops Eggman. So it was just a little bit of that. I still really enjoyed Jim Carrey. I thought he was fucking hilarious, and I did enjoy every single scene he was on, screen, but I just thought that he was just a little bit intimidating, a little bit more than need be. But I think that's just because Jim Carrey is a method actor and he sees an idea for a character and he wants to make that character what it was meant to be to the extreme. So,
Personally, I didn't find Eggman too intimidating in the movie. Actually, to me, he seemed like he was just pushy and annoying. For example, when he comes down to the baseball park thing, and he talks to Bennington, he just seems to be more annoying. Bennington doesn't really seem to be intimidated specifically. He just seems to be like, wow, this guy's really annoying. I'm just gonna give up with him. You know what I mean? And throughout the most of the movie as well, Tom doesn't seem very intimidated as well. He seems to be able to stand up against him, even with all his robots and stuff. So I think for the most part, I actually like how he's portrayed. He's more annoying rather than intimidating.
I feel like Sonic. And I was just gonna say, I feel like Sonic and Eggman are the only people that take Eggman seriously.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. He's more annoying, and people just give up with him rather than are intimidated by him, because technically, even if the government were scared of him, I think they wouldn't have actually. If the government was scared of him, they wouldn't have actually hired him to do stuff. He's more he's just definitely just more annoying, but he's skilled enough to actually get through with life and find a position for himself. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't really think there was really all that much else. One thing that kind of annoyed me, this isn't a major negative of the film. I know a lot of people didn't really like the bar scene. I wasn't super much of a fan of it either. Besides the the slow down time super speed joke, I thought that was funny, but just because I find that kind of humor funny. But the entire scene I didn't care for, and one thing that kind of annoyed me, and mainly because I'm not a truck person, I'm not a vehicle person, and this movie was produced by the people who produced Fast and Furious, and there's that scene right before they go in the bar where Sonic is fucking fanboying out over cars, revving up and being loud as shit. That kind of
strong. He's strong.
Yeah, that scene. I don't know why. That to me, that was just. It felt like producers flexing what they wanted to into the movie. Because to me, I don't know. I don't really see Sonic much. I don't really see Sonic as much of a car person.
Come on, dude. He's in TSR.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the best car.
Blue Speedstar.
I don't know. I don't think that was an actual negative. It just annoyed me.
Well, I mean, I don't see Sonic as a person who would be into movies and pop culture in general. So I think it's just the movie trying to. It's just their interpretation of Sonic, really.
Yeah, I feel like for me personally, what I didn't like, and I guess it's my turn now. Since, are you done, Fizz?
I think that's
okay. So for me, my biggest negative was definitely Sonic. I hate the fucking pop culture references. I can't stand any of them. It's gonna date the movie quicker than it needs to be, and then it's just like my friend said, the shit just got fucking annoying after a while. A pop culture reference here and there can be endearing, but it's akin to Deadpool in the Deadpool movies. It's there's a lot more to the character than just breaking the fourth wall and referencing pop culture shit. You know what I mean? It's where they think that's Deadpool, where there's a whole nother side of the character where it's, he's kind of fucking crazy. You know what I mean? I'd like for them to lean more into that than the whole pop culture thing. And this is to... Oh, what's up, Shattuck? What's up? What's it called? It reminds me of... What's it called? What was I going to say? I think I would want a similar thing done here, where there's a whole other side to the character I would like them to lean into a little bit more. I don't have any issue with them, what's the word? I don't have any issue with them. What's it called? Like, you know, referencing pop culture and stuff like that, you know. But to an extent, you know, you gotta chill the fuck out with that, you know. Like, they kind of rewrote Sonic's character to, you know, I guess, like have the pop culture references make sense, you know, which is fine. But once again, I just think, like, it's just too much. Like, you just gotta chill.
All the speed jokes.
Yeah, my other biggest negative was the bar scene. The entire scene is just a big negative. I hate that scene. It's the low point of the movie. I forced myself to watch it the second time I went to go see the movie just because I was with friends. But the third time I left to go buy snacks and use the bathroom because I don't think it's a good like that is the common denominator. That is the lowest common denominator for what's the word? Children's films is to have that scene where they go into some place they're not supposed to be. It's 18 up. But they're kids, dude. They're kids. Like I just can't.
40 years old and he has skin disease.
Yeah,
what skin disease makes you look like
okay, like to be fair though, the funniest line came from the bar scene where he says, "The looks I were born with, but the confidence I picked up along the way." That shit had me fucking dying in the theater. That shit was hilarious. That shit, like that's like, you know, there's some good jokes, but that's the type of humor I want to see from Sonic. You know what I mean? Not some meta humor, not pop culture references. I want some shit that's genuinely funny that requires him to think a little bit. Yeah, like
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you know, it's funny too, but then you kind of think about it a little bit, and you're like, oh fuck, this movie was produced by the Fast and Furious people. So, was that product placement or was that a joke? And it's also like it's just that bar scene was definitely the lowest point of the movie for me. I did not like it. I don't enjoy it to this day. And you know, when I get this movie on like Blu-ray or something, I'm always gonna skip the bar scene when it comes on. I'm never gonna watch it.
It'll probably come out in like 4 months.
Probably, yeah. But I can't stand that scene. I think it's the worst scene in the movie. It's the lowest point of the movie for me. And that's the biggest reason why I just can't vibe with that scene. It just fucking sucks. The bar scene is terrible. And a lot of my other big negative was just how reserved the movie was. You know, it's missing a lot of flair, and it does the bare minimum. Like, you know, the biggest thing that I enjoy that makes me enjoy this series is its style. You know, like these games are very stylish and they have a lot of flair and attitude to them, and that was not present in a movie, which makes me once again, you know, say that this is a movie that happens to have Sonic than a Sonic movie. It's just like I kind of want that. I think that style and that flair is necessary to have a really good, like, you know, not conclusive, but I guess a total like a fully complete Sonic movie, you know what I mean, that has everything, that hits all of the marks. You need to kind of have that, and so that's why I'm hoping the next film has a shit ton of that, you know. Bring some zones from fucking Sonic 2 in that bitch, you know what I mean. Have them hop from Emerald Hill to something else. I don't know, do something, you know what I mean. I think they probably will hopefully they get a bigger budget next time around. Maybe that shit's doubled or something like that.
This movie's making hella bank, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and it's plateauing now, but typically movies perform better on the weekends. So, you know, there are probably people who were like, there are probably people who were like, you know, I'm not going to see it this weekend, but I'm going to go see it, you know, next weekend. So, you know, this movie literally only came out a week ago, you know, and it's already at 128 million. You know, I'm impatient. I'm really waiting for it to hit that 300 million mark, because that's when you're like, you know, for sure, no, they're going to make a sequel or some shit like that. But, you know, I think that by the time this gets out of, you know, its run is over and stuff like that, and it gets to like it's out of theaters and shit like that. I'm expecting it to get to around maybe 400 million, around Detective Pikachu, maybe even hit 500 million, but I can't see it going any higher than like 550 million unless some crazy shit happens and everyone just goes to see this movie again this weekend. It came out at the opportune time. There's not a whole lot coming out right now. Birds of Prey came out, but Warner Brothers did not fucking advertise that movie at all, so many people didn't know it came out until people started, comparing it to this movie. So now more people are inclined to go see this movie.
Wait, do you mean
thought Birds of Prey was
comparing?
going to come out in like a couple weeks.
I only knew Birds of Prey was already out because I was buying my tickets for the Sonic movie. I didn't know it was out. I literally was buying my tickets for this movie, and Birds of Prey was listed, and it came out February 8th, I think, and that was the day I was buying my tickets, and I was just like, fuck, this shit is out already? I knew they were making it, but I didn't know it was coming out this early. I thought it was coming out like summer or some shit.
They had no competition and barely made.
Yeah.
I just
Actually,
came back.
that's
What are we
not
talking
true.
about?
That's actually not true.
What came out?
Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey had the unfortunate luck of coming out during Oscars week, and during Oscars week, a lot of theaters will often readmission all the movies that are being played at the Oscars or being, featured in the Oscars. So the week that Birds of Prey came out, we got fucking Parasite back, we got Ford v Ferrari, we got Joker back, we got a whole bunch of movies back that everyone absolutely loved. So a lot of people like to say Birds of Prey, didn't have any competition, but in reality it had to deal with the Oscars week, and everyone would rather just go watch actual good movies they know are good rather than a movie they've never heard about.
Yeah, and it's like my thing is I saw an article that said, the reason Birds of Prey failed was, are the same reasons why the Sonic movie is succeeding. And I didn't read the article, but I do agree with the title, just mainly because of the fact that the biggest thing that saved this movie was that god-awful fucking design. This movie would not have the momentum it has right now if it wasn't for that fucking initial design. That initial design is the biggest thing that saved this entire fucking movie.
Regret Sonic.
Yeah. Shattuck, are you still here? Actually, if you want to, do you want to hop in the call? You can hop in the call if you want to. I can add you back to the group. But what's it called? Like that. Like this steam that the movie has is only because of that shitty ass design. It made it was free publicity, you know what I mean? So many people were talking about the movie, and so many people knew the movie were coming out. And then it was also the fact that they went out of their way to redesign it that also caught more people's attention, because people were like, wow, Paramount went out of their way to fix their mistake. This is a really good thing. So that's positive publicity, and that on top of the when they released that new trailer, that shit was on #1 trending. Everyone was talking about it. Sonic was trending for like 2 days when that trailer came out. So it was just it was probably one of the best things that happened in this movie. In a lot of ways, I feel like the execs saved this movie, because I don't think it would be doing as good as it is now if they came out the gate with the design we currently have. In a lot of ways, that first initial design was a saving fucking grace, because I don't think this movie would have this type of steam without it. And it also, another thing too, is thinking about it now, this movie would have been dog shit if it had the initial design. I am thinking about everything, all of these scenes, and I am putting fucking Homo sapien rat Sonic, replacing him with this new design, and I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, this movie would be so unbearable if I had to fucking look at that thing the whole time.
On the topic of the old design, though, so I'm sorry. Excuse me for.
Oh wait, hold on. One more thing. Imagine that one scene with the chili dogs. Imagine that one scene where he farts with the chili dogs, with the old fucking design. That shit is it would scar someone. I would imagine a kid would start crying in the theater.
Sonic looking at Tom with a face like that.
I think it was a chili dog.
He just
like,
proceeds to rip ass.
Yeah, dead ass, dude.
But there's the Steelbook Blu-ray release, John, coming out soon.
Oh yeah, I'm eyeing that.
Well, not soon, but I saw the product details. It said 2 discs. So is this a possible original cut of the movie?
I would pay so much money for that. I would pay so much money for not even Like, if it's not the
It's
whole movie,
$40.
whatever, but all the original scenes, if they have any of the original scenes with fucking original movie Sonic, I would pay so much money just to get
I
those
would
scenes.
love to see.
Fucking,
I wanna
what's
see
I'd
it
love
called?
to see it. And I'd be able to enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be a ironic thing because we have this to enjoy, you know what I mean? But if that was just
Yeah.
all we were offered, I'd be very upset.
I want the
wanna see the
menu
original
to
movie
have
Sonic.
Gangster's Paradise on loop.
Yes.
It has to
Yes.
for that part of the fucking movie.
That is a requirement. That's a must.
I wasn't even upset when like it had Gangster's Paradise originally.
I thought
I
it was
didn't
a
mind
bop.
it at all.
But I didn't care. If anything, I just thought it was funny, but it wasn't egregious. The design was the problem, not Gangster's Paradise. I honestly, I wanted to listen to the Gangster's Paradise at the end credits, like after the tail scene. I would be like, yeah, you know, that would be cool.
Not living in
Yeah, Gangster's Paradise.
That song's a banger. I don't care.
Yes, sir. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
where are we now?
I'm trying to think. Actually, I feel like I had one more thing to talk about. One more negative.
Oh my-
I'm trying to remember what
I hate when
that
that happens.
was. Yeah, I think another big thing is just as a screenplay, it's not very strong. I think there's a lot to be desired, and like just looking at it from a writing perspective, I think it's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the whole thing of they don't have like what's the word they didn't have the budget and stuff. That's fair, but that only can carry you and take you so far. I just think as a screenplay, this is very weak. And don't want to toot my own horn or whatever, but I feel like you can still do something very creative with a very small budget. It's been done before. It's just a matter of the person writing the script and how much time and effort they're willing to put in to making that screenplay really stand out just from that small budget. And a lot of people are saying this is the best that I think they could have done for a Sonic movie. I very much so disagree. This doesn't even scratch the surface of the ideas and the concepts that are in this series, like that stem from this series. You know what I mean? So this is fine. Yeah. It's a good effort, but I don't think this is the best they could have done for a Sonic movie. I have a lot of ideas of what I would have done if I could do this, but then again, it's a lot easier to critique and propose like alternatives than it is to actually write the screenplay. So I think personally there could have definitely been a lot more. I don't really agree with the whole this is the best that we could have gotten for a Sonic movie. I just don't think that's the case, especially just considering what I know this series is capable of. But like I said, it sets the stage, and I think that's fine. When they get a bigger budget, I'm expecting a lot more from them, and for the second movies in particular, I have very high expectations for. So this is when I'm going to start getting real critical with these films, is when they get a bigger budget and when they don't have that excuse to fall back on anymore.
Yeah.
So
Also, what Shibao said about the 2 discs thing. The Steelbook is a 4K Blu-ray, so what they do with 4K Blu-rays is they have like one disc for the 4K, and then they have a second disc for like a regular HD version. So
I see.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have like a final, like they're not gonna have like a whole other movie with the original version. I highly.
I really want to see
I
the
would
original
pay
cut.
so much money to see the original cut.
Yeah, I would definitely
no
buy
fucking
that.
Clue
Though.
how much money I would pay for that.
Yeah, I'd pay a shit ton of money for that. That just sounds excellent.
Bro.
Okay, so that's all out of the way. We got the lists out of the way. Now we're in the final stretch. So we'll talk about some conceptual stuff, and then we'll take some questions, and then that'll be it. Sequel ideas. I know you have a bunch of theories, Shivo, so, go ahead. Go fucking crazy, dog.
Okay.
I'll be right back, actually. I gotta pee, but you guys keep talking.
Yeah,
Oh.
buddy. PP time.
Okay, so I really, 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 really want to see a cameo or an appearance of the Chaos Emeralds, because I feel like they could really work in a sequel. Not only that, but like imagine if they're like spread out through like the solar system, kind of like how the Infinity Stones were in in MCU, it could really work that way. And at that, I'd really love to see more world hopping. Because, oh my god, I can't even get all my ideas out. I should have. But one thing I want to say is that I want to see for like a cover of or like a poster of the movie. I want to see something based on the American box art of Sonic 2 because I feel like it'd really work. And as for plot goes, it'd be hard to say, but I really want to see them go back to Sonic's original world. And like something that'd be cool is that like if he met Knuckles, he sort of had like a grudge towards the echidnas because of what happened to Longclaw. I could see that interfering with his character a lot in a sequel, especially if he meets Knuckles and like Eggman sort of like recruits him to get rid of Sonic so that way he could like, you know, do his thing, his evil genius thing. And oh my god, I'm trying to think of so many more things that I had to say, but I can't get it all out at once. That sounds really paused, but I'll pass the mic to somebody else for now. So
Yo, I'm sorry, I'm jamming out to Power Ride. This song goes fucking crazy hard, dog. Damn.
What's it called? I want yeah, if there's anything, I want 100% in the next movie. It's got to be Knuckles, and he's got to have his OVA hat. If he doesn't have his OVA hat, I'm leaving the movie. I'm asking for a refund. Get my ass out of there. I don't care. You give me that hat, or you give me shit.
Brass Knuckles.
I want to see Knuckles with the hat. And like, now that we know like how characters will look, I'm really excited to see how they do like the rest of the characters. I think Knuckles is gonna look like super fucking clean when he shows up in the movie, and I know they'll bring him. I know they'll bring him because they brought Tails at the end of this. I know Knuckles is gonna show up. I know some shit's gonna go down. You know what I mean? I'm very, very ready for this. As far as the plot goes, I don't think Longclaw is dead. We didn't watch Longclaw die. We watched her get shot by an arrow, stand up like nothing was a fucking problem, and then send Sonic off and disappear through a ring. So she's not dead. You can't say like, I'm not gonna say like she might not be dead. She might be alive. No, she's not dead. She's alive. The echidnas didn't give a shit about her. They wanted Sonic. They didn't want her, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, and on top of that, too, what?
With your BF, does that mean best friend or boyfriend? Give me the fucking deets.
My thing with Longclaw is that like they wouldn't kill Longclaw if they wanted to know where Sonic was, so they could get his power.
Right. That's
so they like, if anything, they'd have to either keep her captive or like, you know, do something, just not kill her.
Shit.
Dog, what I'm interested in primarily is what the fuck's going on with the echidnas. I know they were always the bad guy. Those guys were some fucking assholes in Adventure.
They definitely were.
You know, but it's just like I'm very interested. I want to see what's going on with them specifically.
Oh, another thing too. That sort of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just had an idea for Knuckles in the sequel. Was all.
I want to hear it.
I mean, obviously, if there was a sequel, Tails is obviously going to be in it. But I think that it absolutely needs Knuckles. But one thing I think would be really cool is like the Echidna tribe is still out there, and Knuckles actually works with them. And then like Knuckles would have a character arc showing him, because like obviously the Echidna tribe is trying to get Sonic's power, but maybe they want to go through any means of getting it, even if that means killing Sonic, which could challenge, you know, Knuckles' humanity, and maybe have him even turn on them to become friends with Sonic, so that way Sonic and Knuckles can have like a rivalry at first. Like, if that sounds interesting at all.
Oh, I love that.
But Knuckles isn't a human.
I
thought Knuckles was.
I think he needs morality.
I thought Knuckles was a black guy.
I knew what you meant.
I think
I really want to see Angel Island. I'm just gonna say that right. But like Angel Island would be cool. And my biggest thought is like, how is Eggman gonna end up getting off of the mushroom planet? Is he like gonna salvage his old Eggomatic hovercraft and like rebuild what bits and pieces of it that he can find, or or is he gonna find rings on the mushroom planet and then get back to Earth and then get his new fit and stuff? Like, how is that gonna go down?
I mean, you could also if there's a planet, there's gonna be like other planets around it. Maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I just thought about that. That's too far. I don't think any filmmaker would think about it. Nah, definitely not.
Actually, no. If you look at that post-credit scene with Eggman on the planet, you can actually see moons or other planets surrounding the planet he's on. If you look.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance, Agent Stone.
But he's definitely gonna
at that point you
he's
could
gonna
just hear
use
Mike Pollock in his voice.
But he's definitely gonna use Sonic's quills somehow to power something, I guess.
He's probably gonna eat it like
Maybe
he tried to do.
That joke was so fucking funny where he got
going to use the
electrocuted
quills.
and then he handed it to
My
Stone. He's like,
idea is that maybe he's going to use the quills energy to build a robot army, maybe even make the badniks.
Probably.
Something I'd like to see maybe even Metal Sonic. That's just the theory I'm throwing out there right now.
yeah, I want to. So for me,
I want to see
Sonic, come to Robotropolis. I need
I
to stop
really want to
Sonic.
see. Something I really want to see in the badniks is not necessarily the classic designs, but more along the lines of the advanced badniks. I don't know all of their names since they're all in Japanese, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
The spinners and stuff.
SCPU?
Like the spinners and stuff.
right. What's it called? I think. What's it called? For me personally, I don't want Knuckles in the second film. I actually want to have one film where it's just Sonic and Tails. For me personally, Sonic and Tails, their relationship is they're probably one of the most iconic duos in gaming. You cannot have a Sonic movie with that movie series without having a film just about Sonic and Tails. So I personally want them to save Knuckles for the third film and make this a whole little trilogy. And I want the second film to just be Sonic and Tails. If you want to introduce Metal Sonic, that's entirely fine. You know what I mean? But I don't want the main trio there, not just yet. Even you could even introduce Amy too in the next film if you want to. You know what I mean? But in terms of the main Amy's always been probably the least important of the original four. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of a hierarchy, and Knuckles is always sort of there on his own, in his own separate category. Oh fuck! It's Dragon Road Night. Ah shit. But it's what's it called? What was I gonna say? But I think having a film just with those two is real fucking important. I really want to see that. There is no. I would say Sonic and Tails is fucking Mario and Luigi are boring as fuck, dude. You know what I mean?
Right?
They
don't even talk.
Yeah, they interact with each other every once in a while, but it's not anything. I don't think it's ever as genuine as Sonic and Tails. You know what I mean? There's a very clear those two seem more like brothers than Mario and Luigi, and they're not even related.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Sonic
what I mean?
raised Tails for Christ's sake.
Deadass, I'd say that's the best gaming duo for me personally. So I think it's mad important for them to just give those two a movie, and I would like to see them do an arc where it's a little predictable, but I think it could work if they do it properly. Tails seems very overly analytical and independent right now. I think it'd be very cool if they had a plot line where it's more so about him. I want him to go to Sonic. He's going to Sonic for something, probably some Chaos Emerald type shit. I want him to go to Sonic. I want him to initially really not like Sonic. I don't want them to like each other the first time they meet up, and then I want them to gradually build that connection with one another. Yeah, you know what I mean? And bring new parts of each other out just through them interacting. You know what I mean? And have it be a gradual thing where Sonic just is I gotta leave. That's where he dips out of what's it called? That's where he dips out of Green Hills, and then they start going around the galaxy doing some type of shit. You know what I mean?
They discover an emerald.
Yeah, something like that. Because they can't.
What I want there to be is Echidna hieroglyphs. I
Yeah.
really want those to be around.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I can't really see them doing Tails' typical arc, where it's like he's trying to be more like Sonic, because he already seems very independent on his own. But I think it would be cool if he like Tails. Honestly, he seems like he's been alone for a while too. I think if they had the thing where it's sort of like the duality, not duality, but I guess the have. I think it would be cool if there were parallels between Tails and Eggman, and it's sort of like that one very what's the word, key difference led them down different paths. You know what I mean? So they have very similar like stories and stuff like that, and maybe at some point in the film, Eggman can use that to coax Tails into like giving like not betraying Sonic. You know what I mean? It's kind of cliche, but maybe doubting Sonic a little bit. You know, like doubting himself a little bit, maybe. Just something like that. That's just an idea. They don't have to do it, but just something like that. Because
Danny DeVito. If I could mention something real quick, you can definitely tell that in the post-credits scene, Tails was not finished. This goes along with the visual effects thing. Tails was definitely not finished.
Oh yeah, no. Like
he looked amazing, but he was very clearly still, unfinished by the time the movie released because he didn't have proper lighting. His fur was kind of all over the place. His design looked cool. I thought it was a pretty neat adaptation, but
oh yeah,
I'm 90%
He's a fluffy boy. I love him.
Oh, his fur looked like an actual teddy bear. Like I looked at it. It looked like an actual teddy bear fur.
Did you see his tails? They're so fluffy.
Yes. Tails was.
They were
that's right. It was also in the panning shot when like it appeared that he only had like one tail.
Yeah. And then they revealed he had two tails, which was kind of weird, but still kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. Like, I don't know, it got me excited seeing the second tail just come.
Yeah. He looks down. I also like how they didn't make his I guess muzzle fur and his like body fur like straight white. It's more of like a very pale orange. That was a very nice touch. I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely. I never thought that a Sonic movie would be the one to break the.
I was gonna say this earlier, but I honestly, the Sonic movie is the last thing I expected to give me some kind of genuine enjoyment out of this series. You know what I mean? Like I never expected this to be a positive for the series. I thought this shit was gonna be
genuinely reeled me back into the series.
No, yeah, like I'm telling you, I wasn't gonna this was literally gonna be something that was pre-recorded, something that I did in like 3 seconds or whatever. But after watching the movie, I was like, oh, shit, now I kind of want to do it live. Like I want to make it a big event, just because I enjoyed the film so much. Yeah,
I don't even have recollection of how many times I've beaten Mania where the movie came out. Oh my god. Like, all Chaos Emeralds, everything. Just, like, this movie got me that hyped.
One thing I'm wondering is, like, if they do have a bigger budget for the second film, enough where they can do a lot of world jumping, what would they do with, like, the human characters? Like, I feel like with, like, for example, Green Hill, while it is, like, really well rendered and stuff, and it looks pretty realistic, it's still a very cartoony kind of looking world, so just imagining Tom the cop stand in Green Hill Zone, like, just seems really jarring to me.
You burn them.
I feel like for a sequel, there'd be, like, it'd start off in Green Hills, Montana, and then Tails would meet up with Sonic. There'd be this I guess ultimatum where he'd have to choose between staying or leaving, and then I guess he leaves for the greater good. If that makes.
No, yeah.
I think they need to dump the human characters in the sequel.
Yeah,
I
feel
love
like they
them in
only
this
make
movie,
like
but
minor.
I would say. Yeah, I would say it'd be better to dump them, but at the same time, I don't think seeing them in Green Hill would necessarily be too jarring just because of the way it's rendered. You know what I mean?
I think that would be kind of weird.
It's basically just kind of a. To me, it's just kind of like a different. What's it called? It's just. Maybe it's because I've just seen so many movies where they're on different planets and it's all really fucking funky, so I don't really care. But to me, it just seems like a different planet, and I get it originates from a very cartoony series. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's all realistically rendered, like grass, and dirt and all that stuff. So it's like it's not really a big deal to me, you know what I mean? And that cartooniness is like only really noticeable from like these really wide shots, which you're not really going to see characters in much in the first place, you know what I mean? Usually you'll probably have them close up on like cliff sides or like on the ground or, you know, whatever. So I don't think it would be that crazy. Like I can kind of see what you mean, but at the same time I don't think it would be the biggest deal. But even if like it is like perfectly fine, like the human characters were great in this film, but ultimately if they are going to move things along to different worlds and such, you're probably not going to need to, like Sonic will obviously they'll care about them, keep them in his heart, maybe even go visit them and stuff. Like don't make it so that like Sonic forgets about them for fucking ever.
I mean, like
that's kind of
I don't think they would do that, but I do think they need to, like the human characters were really mainly in there for the sake of saving money. So like Maddie and Tom are cool, but they literally serve zero purpose outside of this movie. I think they could be in the in the first movie for a little while, but I don't know, like maybe Tom going with Sonic and Tails on their like little adventure would make sense, but I don't know. I don't think they should be, like, they can be in the movies, I guess, but they shouldn't be have as big of a role, like as they do right now.
Only like small dialogue exchanges.
Yeah, like maybe they can come in every once in a while, but they don't really need to be there. And I personally would prefer to see these characters interact with each other more than they do the human characters, because I don't have, like I said, the human characters are cool, but I have no attachment to them. I really don't give a shit about them. So
yeah. That's fair.
So that's my biggest thing. I also really want to see, you said it before, but I really want to see Metal Sonic in this trilogy at some point, somewhere. There's that cool ass fucking fan design of Metal Sonic on. Actually, low key, I'm about to go on that, and I'm about to add. This is very tactless or whatever, but I'm gonna add Jeff Fowler. I'm gonna be like, hire this man, dead ass.
This man said, all right, I'm a little upset
because it's a nice design. I'm literally gonna tag him. I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna be like, if you guys make a sequel, hire this man. Use this fucking Metal Sonic design. It's perfect.
Can you show me, sir? You know where it is?
More than likely, this if it gets a sequel, we're more than likely gonna have more staff on the team for like worlds and CGI models and stuff. So like I could see this, like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it'd work.
For what?
Especially if we get a bigger, like double the budget that we had for this, I could especially like see a sequel working.
It's
okay, so
world hopping. Let's bring them to the land of the sky, the land of darkness.
Oh,
that'd be a good homage. Like the actual Sonic movie.
Oh my god,
that shit was fucking crazy though. I want to see some magma veins again. Remember that shit. What were you gonna say, Mr. Cryptic?
I'm trying to find the original poster. I found a repost, but I want to link to the original poster.
Oh, okay.
I swear I thought I posted it.
I never thought I'd see the day where Take a Day Trip on a Sonic song.
Wait, say that again?
I never thought I'd see the day where Take a Day Trip produces instrumentals for Sonic.
Oh.
Like, I never thought I'd see the day when that happened. Oh my god, why is K-pop showing up in my timeline?
Because I'm here.
Why not?
Someone actually had like Watson said before where Longclaw wasn't dead. I saw a theory where they thought Longclaw was actually the one that instructed Tails to find Sonic.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too, and that could be
we
very.
need to see more Owl Mom.
Yeah, that could very much be a real thing too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. It'd actually be a good plot point. That would be why he says. That would be why Tails says he's here.
I'm just wondering what's the I'm wondering what the implications of "I hope I'm not too late" is. Like, that makes me tie it back to the Chaos Emerald.
He probably
the right on there.
Like at that time, Eggman already got off the. and started.
No,
eating
I
mango.
think what Tails was referring to is like wondering, like whether either A, somebody finding him, or B, just like whether or not he like hops to a different world. And
Yeah, but he says he's here. I finally found him, so he knows he's
Oh,
might
yeah.
be moving
So-
soon. He doesn't know if he'll be moving soon. You know what I mean? So he's got to hurry up. That's my assumption.
I mean, I that could be the case, but it's just like, you know, what's it called?
I definitely think there's a threat on the actual Tails Sonic world. That's
Yeah, like, that's what I'm-
requires Tails to.
Oh,
That's what
maybe
I'm
it is
thinking.
about his world. Okay, that's his
In
world.
world.
An actual good Sonic song.
Yes, sir.
I really want to see was it Longclaw be kept in like a Echidna Triad tent, and then Sonic comes in and finds her, but then she like dies, so then Sonic kills all the Echidnas.
Sonic,
That's how he kills all of them. No, he doesn't kill just all the men, but the women and the children.
If Longclaw
but the women and the children.
so will you.
And then this all goes back to how Longclaw is also Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. It's all
If
all
Obi-Wan
just a
could-
reference to Star Wars.
They're like animals. And I slaughtered them like animals.
How would you feel if Sonic 2 came out on December 21st, 2021?
December 21st.
Oh, you mean the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the movie? Never mind.
Sonic 2 already came
I'd be
out.
like, I don't want Sonic 2.
Came out in
Sonic 2
Super
go-
Sega ages.
Uh-oh.
Like, the only reason I picked December 21st
Here it
is because
is,
it's
dog.
Tuesday. You know, we have to have a Sonic Tuesday.
Yeah, they gotta bring
shit.
they gotta
Oh, I
bring back
saw
those
that.
old
That is
marketing.
Oh yeah, I saw
design.
that.
They gotta
Oh, yeah,
bring
I've
back
seen
their old marketing design. The shit's.
Look at that boy's shoes.
it.
Can I wear
I
those?
I don't think he looks the same without the spike fingers, but everything else, I'm really fucking.
Actually, I think it works better just because of the design of
And
his mechs in the movie. You
and-
know.
Yeah, I think there's like they're all very rounded.
Actually, to be
and,
honest, I kind of like those more for like movie Metal Sonic. You know, you don't have to change
Ooh,
current design, but
so if he does appear in a scene and they're like racing and fighting and stuff, what if we get a movie score version of Stardust Speedway?
hopefully, like
That'd be-
Hopefully
just-
they capitalize
They
on
could
the
use
Sonic
both.
music a little more.
they just need to be a little bit
Oh.
more like creative with how they handle that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Like, you
One
can
of
hear it in
the
the piano.
biggest issues I had with the score, and disregarding whether or not the song was good or not, you have Sonic. Like once again, Sonic's known for his music. You know what I mean? And all those people that worked on it, Crush 40, fucking Rumblebee, fucking Zebrahead, all these fucking people, and you decided to like go with some fucking rappers to make a theme for your movie about Sonic, the fucking
Yeah.
pop rock Sonic.
I mean, I'll be honest. I fuck with Speed Me Up, so
Yes.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
I
too.
fuck with Speed Me Up.
Maybe
I
it's
listen.
because
I
I'm
bump
black
that
and
shit.
I like
I'm
rap.
not big with
That's
it.
probably
you know what I mean?
it. Yeah.
But like,
It's just not Sonic.
Even, right? Like whether you think it's good or not, like it just seems like a really out of like really weird like decision.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Something
I think it
exotic.
fits. I think it fits movie Sonic, considering what movie Sonic is, how obsessed he is with pop culture. Movie Sonic would definitely listen to a song like that.
He would
Sonic
listen to
can eat
K-pop.
my ass out with his fucking little furry muzzle.
It's like
It's stuck in there. Get it that.
I get it, but I feel like you can write a like, I mean, like Speed Me Up sounds it's a good song, but it's very generic. There's not a lot
Yeah.
going on there, but like, you know, I don't think the issue is that it's like a rap song or it's not Crush 40 or anything like that. I think
Okay.
if they get
I
the
think
right-
that was-
if they get the right people behind the song, they could make a very good Sonic rap song, you know. So
yeah. Okay.
Did you
maybe
guys hear the
that was-
original rap song?
That
for the
was
movie?
mostly what I was trying to say. Maybe I probably got lost.
the
in,
Green Hill Zone remix.
whatever I was saying.
Yeah.
I haven't listened. I haven't
But,
listened to that actually. So many people have said it's better than Speed Me Up, but I have not listened to it. Now.
I haven't
I mean,
heard
like,
it either.
I personally
It's-
prefer Speed Me Up, and that's because it grew on me. But like,
Mm.
you know,
You can
Speed
my
Me Up is
ass
like
off, dude.
Speed Me Up's like an actual proper song that you'd listen to in your free time. The Green Hill Zone remixes are just background music, really.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I can see that
Like
playing
like
during,
it's
like,
a
high-speed
it's
action scene.
it's a rap song where the beat is a remixed version of Green Hill. Like it's
Yeah.
not the
They just
piano, not the piano
They
rendition.
remixed.
Yeah,
they remixed
what's it
Green
called?
Hill
It's
3
just
times.
that's just like sampling. You know what I mean? So like that's fine. It's not like you're just listening to a fucking piano.
Whenever fucking Burger says anything, I read all of his comments in his voice, and it makes them 10 times more iconic. What a legend!
Creep on me.
What a fucking legend!
Oh shit! Fucking
Um,
Burger.
Imagine they introduced this.
Look at, he's got black bars on his profile picture. I just realized that.
yeah.
I'm about to be rocking a Kaneki profile picture tomorrow.
The
A what?
A what?
Okay, so basically, you guys know the Hold up, let me send it.
Yeah, weren't we doing a Q&A section soon?
What is that?
I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Shout
the,
out.
I thought we were gonna do a Q&A.
Yeah, I think
it looks like
that's
more.
I think that's it for what's it called?
the debate.
The conceptual stuff. Yeah, like I
The
think
Great
we
Sonic Forces debate.
I think we ran out of stuff to talk about, like in terms of conceptual stuff and in terms of
Big
like the
booty
actual
bitches.
movie itself. So, if you guys have questions, now's the time to start typing and ask them. What's it called? Just leave them in the chat, and then we'll get to them. They'll spark some new debate. Hopefully, if possible, let's see if we can get this to 3 hours. It's 25 minutes, so you know.
Do the questions need to
I'm
be
down.
strictly related to the movie, or
I mean, they could just ask questions. Honestly, they could just ask questions, whatever the fuck it is. You know, we'll answer it. We'll answer it. My mom's credit card is 50168750.
You know, that reminds me of when Ben was in the one video and he started just giving out his huh? I'm like,
That's some shit I do though, low key. I've done that multiple times. People ask for my social and they start reading out the numbers and they're like, "Stop, dude! They're gonna take your identity." I'm like, okay.
What are they gonna do? Pay your taxes?
Good ass, dude. Like I don't have shit to steal. I'm nobody. Have fun with my identity, dog. So take me back in time to another place.
I thought it was World.
someone stole my identity. Could I
probably,
just
yeah.
create a new avatar?
My side.
The Whiz Fizz.
Do you believe the success of the movie will influence other media Sonic as president? Yeah,
Oh, no.
100%.
Uh,
I don't know
gonna
how
use
big of
the
an
movie
impact
design.
it's gonna have, but I know it's gonna have an impact. And no, I don't want the movie design. As much as I love the movie design, I don't want it in the games. For sure.
Yeah, same.
Like that's a dumb thing that I don't think like people should be saying. It's really weird.
What do you
Orbot
think
and
the fate of
Cubot.
video games?
Dog, yo, that you know, like for me personally, like Orbot and Cubot, like Agent Stone was both of them mixed together. That shit hit different, dog. So if they don't have Stone back, Orbot and Cubot might be cool to see in the movie. I'm not entirely against that. I'm not
I
entirely
want
against
Agent
that.
Stone back though, because you know there's the
Agent Stone had me fucking dying. That one scene where he walks up behind Eggman and he's just like, "Okay, so for new people coming in, we're doing Q&A. Ask questions." But the part where he says,
I remember when Agent Stone said that.
the part when Eggman's all pissed off and he's just like, "Wow." No, what does he say? He's like, "Are they still alive?" And he's like, "Oh, there they are." No, are they dead? Oh no, there they are. Those two are real survivors. And that shit had me dying. That shit was hilarious. It's not the line, but pretty much is what he said.
I like when Robotnik told him to fucking pin him to the wall, and he just pins himself to the
Yeah,
wall.
pin yourself to the wall.
And then he just starts going on about how
What's it called? Mono, he mentioned this earlier, but the scene where Eggman, I didn't expect this because we only saw like half of the scene from the trailer. But Eggman like goes to like take a fucking bite out the quill, and he's like, and then he looks at Agent Stone, he's like, "You want?"
that's not
And it was
Okay.
so funny because
The
it was
way that
right
it
after it was right after he just got done telling Agent Stone how he'll never miss him and like he hates fucking people. And he's like, "You want some?"
Okay, so
Bro, the way the editing cut it too was so hilarious to me.
Oh my god.
yeah, because it cut to the next scene immediately.
Yeah.
But Rich said, serious
I
question.
love jump cuts like that.
Rich said, serious question. What do you think of the fate? Wait, sorry. What do you think of the fate of video game movies is from here on in? For me personally,
Gonna start listening to the fans more.
I think it. Yeah, I think what Pikachu and Sonic proved is that having some kind of integrity with the film. You know what I mean? Respecting that it's from a pre-existing franchise, and you know, like you can adapt it and whatnot. The issue isn't necessarily you adapting it; it's mainly just you treating it with a level of tact and respect that video game movies normally don't get. I think that's the biggest thing. So for me, I hope these two movies are a sign of, or like a sign, and like you know, like they sort of tell like you know producers and the people who make these movies, hey, you know, people actually really fucking like when you know respect the things that they grew up with, you know what I mean? So if you're gonna adapt a video game movie, at the very least have it be faithful, you know, because looking at them just as movies, I think Detective Pikachu and this movie are pretty bad. I don't think they're that good. They're not like, I guess they're not like dog shit bad, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say they're dog shit, but they're not very good. Especially Pikachu was like real fucking bad. I think this movie is teetering more on being decent, but like it's still a level of bad. So what's it called? I think at the very least, people just kind of want to see these characters on the big screen. You know, they're not expecting much. They just want to see the video games translated from, you know, video games to the big screen. So hopefully this shows that, you know, they're going to be more respectful with it. I know the Mario movie at the very least is going to be faithful because of how involved Nintendo is with that. They learned their fucking lesson, you know what I mean? They very deliberately chose Illumination. So it's like they know what they're doing, you know what I mean? So even if that movie's terrible, which it might be, I'm pretty sure at the very least it's going to be faithful. Yeah, and I think that's more important than it being good right now. It's a gradual thing, you know what I mean? Let's establish being faithful as the norm, and once that's established as the norm, we can get to the point where it's like let's make good video game movies the norm. Yeah,
there's something I wanted to say about that subject, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that I think that Sonic definitely did much better than Pikachu did is, even though both of them did this one thing great, they were both insanely faithful to the what's it called?
Property.
Yeah, the property, the IP, the source. They were both very faithful to that. But one thing that I think that Sonic did much better than Detective Pikachu did, which is probably why it's so much more financially successful, is that it doesn't the entire movie is not saturated with just Sonic this, Sonic that, the Sonic things, you know, from all the different games. If you want to watch the movie, and you basically just need to have a very basic understanding of Sonic. Sonic is blue. Sonic goes fast. He collects rings and he fights a guy named Robotnik in machines. That's like the very basic minimum that anyone really needs to understand about Sonic, which most people do, which is probably why so many people were able to watch this movie and enjoy it. So to me, the future of video game movies has to have studios striking a fine balance between listening and understanding and paying respects to the fans, while still wanting to be financially successful and making the movie accessible to the general audience. So this movie proves that it can be done, but I don't necessarily think that all video game movies from now on are going to be like that.
Right, that's why I said I hope that, you know, executives see that and they start, you know, heading this direction, or that direction. I mean, from video game movies that are coming out, that I can think of, the main two that, you know, I think of are, what's it called? Not Resident Evil. Monster Hunter is coming out later this year. Wait, or is that... Hold on, I think the Monster movie... Is that 2021? No, that's this year. I think the Monster Hunter movie comes out later this year, but that's going to be a very niche film. Yeah, it comes out this year. It's going to be a very niche film. You know, I don't think, sorry, say that again?
It's gonna be an isekai.
It literally fucking is, dude. You know, it's gonna be a very niche film. I don't expect it to do like crazy well, but I hope it does a little bit well. You know, and then there's also the Mario movie, which is probably going to do very well. what's it called? I'm interested to see how that performs in comparison to the Sonic movie and the Pikachu movie.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon. No, Pikachu movie. What's it called? And I know they have series, like, you know, like television series that they're producing. That Halo series has been in production for years now. Resident Evil is coming to Netflix very soon. Devil May Cry is coming to Netflix very soon. So they have a lot going on in terms of, like, you know, like what's the word? They have a lot going on in terms of what the fuck am I trying to say right now? Of, like, I guess, like, content, like video game, you know, related, like, you know, cinema and film and shit like that. But, like, what's it called? I'm just hoping that this becomes the norm. You know what I mean? Like, if they released another Out of Touch video game movie, I want it to perform very poorly, just so that, you know, people can what's it called?
Reference to Sonic movie.
Yeah. Go back to Sonic and Pikachu. Be like, those movies did well for a reason. You know, what's separating those films from our film? And then I hope that's you know, kind of how it goes, and, like, you know, people start looking at these movies entirely differently and whatnot. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, This Is Who You Are. Oh, fuck, this shit slaps. What's it called? But that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say on that. You guys want to add anything else?
I'm gonna say.
Okay.
There's too much to know about villains.
Another question. No, we'll get to that one. But another question was, what zones would you like Sonic and Tails to travel through in the sequel? Assuming they will.
Oh, I said Flame Core. Fucking kill those bastards.
Okay.
Ice Cap Zone. I want to see them run down a side of a fucking snowy mountain. I want to see that.
That's fair.
I'm gonna list off a couple of my favorites. Okay. I really want to see Chemical Plants. I like that.
They gotta.
I want to see Spring Yard Zone. I don't know why, but I like Spring Yard Zone. Starlight Zone, amazing. Let's see, Hydra City Zone.
What'd you say?
Big Zone. Like Shinda.
I also want to see Emerald. I want to see Emerald Coast. You know, let me stop, because I might end up naming off, like, the whole Sonic. You know. So let me stop right here before I just
it's not
on
canon.
too much of a tangent.
It is not canon. You're not canon, Blue.
Hydro City is canon.
No, I'm never calling it that. I would agree, though. I would love to see Hydrocity in another Sonic movie. I would love to see what's it called? I want to let's get some some CD shit. Well, granted, maybe they're
Collision Chaos.
They are
Little Planet.
Yeah, they are world hopping, so Little Planet seems like very feasible. So I would love to see what's it called? Like mainly like Metallic Madness and like Tidal Tempest are the ones like I would really like to see. Fuck Collision Chaos. With this fucking pink, the springs and the bullshit. Fuck Collision Chaos.
Yo, I actually really want to see Palm Tree Panic in the next movie, just because of the pink. Like, I think for me personally, that is the most distinct Green Hill based zone. So, you know, I if they're gonna hit that shit again, you know, I'm trying to see fucking Palm Tree. They might do Emerald Hill just because that'd be very easy to do. They could just build that off of the pre-existing Green Hill. You know what I mean? So if they do that, all right, cool, assholes.
Palm Tree Panic would be cool. It's got triangles instead of checkers.
I really want to see Emerald Coast. I feel like that'd be really good.
Dog.
I know you said this earlier, but I'd love to see.
So like maybe Scrap Brain or Metropolis.
They should put City Escape.
Don't add Metropolis. Don't do it.
I hated it in Sonic 2.
Here's something that I want. I really want the egg carrier to be in this film series.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the egg carrier.
Amazing.
I want to see the egg carrier.
You're not canon.
Those are some fighting words, dog. You guys gotta tussle.
He's a wet pussy. That's
tussle
not
up.
dog.
This I've never. Holy crap, Lois! This reminds me of the time I went to go see the Sonic movie.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
Like, I've never in my 17 years of living pussy. Like,
Yo, what
it's
happened
just
to
never
the egg
happened until
carrier?
today.
after
I heard
the
Sonic and Pussy, then
They
you cut out.
destroyed it.
What?
In
Two
my
things that go
17
together.
years of living, I've never heard anybody use wet pussy as an insult.
He's literally
okay.
called Lego Wet Pussy.
I mean,
So the
yeah,
joke
but
is that he's a cat.
I've never heard it used as an insult.
Well, I'll start.
Dog, I don't think it's an insult. That's a title right there.
Dang, bro.
That's something to be
Dang,
proud
bro.
of. Wear that
You're
shit
such
on
a
your
pussy.
chest.
You're
We
such
could
a wet
get
pussy. I would
hello,
slide
man.
off if I hit you.
Oh
Dog.
no! He seems so distraught though. Look at his face.
All right, guys. I'm gonna say this just so you guys can hear it while we're continuing to talk. But think up some more questions and whatnot. Keep the questions coming. Let's go on to. Are you guys done with? Are you guys done with the? Yes, sir. Are you guys done with the? Took me a while to process what you
Lost
said.
text.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Lost
I want to
text,
see a
yes,
Shadow
damn
of the Hedgehog movie and have the whole movie set on the ark.
I want that shit to be R-rated.
Bro, I'm
Bro.
dead. No, I actually want to see that though. I would go see that.
With the type of setup that they're going for this franchise, I could see them introducing Gerald Robotnik and the space colony Ark at one point.
I think what they're doing is, so for me
Yeah.
personally, I think they want to do a trilogy based off, not based off the classic games, but I guess following the same structure set by the classic
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm assuming. Really, it only really depends on if the trilogy's successful enough to continue it after the third movie. If it gets a third movie, we don't even know if it's gonna get a sequel. But this
The
is so
director said in
surreal.
an interview he would love to do a sequel.
This is so fucking surreal. We're in a timeline where people, where this movie's doing successful enough for there to be talks of a sequel. God damn. Didn't they greenlight
even a month.
Pikachu's? Didn't they greenlight Pikachu's sequel
That's getting a sequel too.
a month after the?
I think it's written by one of the Sonic movie writers as well.
Yeah, didn't that shit?
wonder the
Didn't they?
story's so
Didn't they
good.
greenlight that shit like a week after the movie came out?
They greenlit it before the movie came out.
Oh yeah, because it was close. I remember it was close, and everyone was like, "Damn,
so
already."
confident in their success that they
Yeah.
greenlit it before it came out. That's crazy.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
Nintendo
what
for you.
happened?
They must have had that much money then.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yeah, Nintendo.
they made like 440 million around that point, around that number. So, nice job, guys. Okay. Next question, because I think we are done. Oh no! Last thing, if this shit doesn't have the tornado in it at some point in time, I'm like suing. I'm fucking suing.
Okay, low key. I just thought of this just now, but it would be cool if like later on in the series we got to see the planets from Sonic Colors.
Oh, that'd be dope. Okay, here's what I'm thinking of. For Sonic the Hedgehog Season 2, except it's not a show, it's a movie, and it's in theaters. I really want them to end that movie where, the egg carrier's there and whatnot. In Act 3, the big thing of Act 3, it's just like a recreation of Flying Fortress Zone, where they're flying up, they're attacking the egg carrier on the fucking tornado and whatever. It's like,
Hell yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he's jumping off of the plane, going from Badnik to Badnik and shit, and like Tails is swinging down and pick him up. Some dope ass shit like that is what I'm trying to see.
Bro, imagine if they do like movies based off the adventure series, but like they
Yeah.
do what Endgame and
Dog,
Infinity War did and split
yo,
into two
in
parts.
the final boss of that is like some movie fucking Death Egg Robo, dude. I would die.
Ooh,
That'd be so
God,
cool.
Yo, oh my god, I'm getting. Yo, let me stop.
That'd be so fucking dope.
Oh my god. I just realized I should be asleep right now for school, but I do not care.
I
going
should.
to bed.
I should
Stay.
be too, but like at this point, week's practically fucking over. I have one class tomorrow, and it's like it's at what time is that class at? It's at 11, and then I have an assignment to turn in, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna pass out. So I'm chilling. I'm coasting right now.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Especially after this week, I've been so stressed this week. God damn. But let's go to the next question. What other Sonic villains should be in the movies? Interesting
Chaos.
question. Yeah, Chaos is the... I was going to say Chaos, too. If this shit extends past, the classic games, they gotta do Adventure. I want them to do Adventure so bad. That'd be so
Adventure
fucking cool.
in 2 parts.
Yeah, dude. That'd be dope as fuck. And
I really want to see Shadow make an appearance.
yeah, we already said Metal Sonic. And I guess for the sake of keeping this,
Lyric.
I guess of keeping this restricted to the the hypothetical trilogy or whatever. Let's say villains that you think would fit this classic-esque universe they're setting up. For me, honestly, I would love to see the hard-boiled heavies in this fucking series. It's in some way, shape, or form. I think they would work very well for a planet jumping plot line, you know what I mean, where it's like they're all building up to Eggman himself returning and all that, you know what I mean. So he's sending out all these these robots, like the heavies and stuff like that. Love their naming scheme, by the way. I love that shit. But he's sending the heavies out and whatnot, alluding to his eventual, return and shit. And then it all, builds up to, maybe at the end of Act 2, there's a confrontation between, what's it called? Sonic and Tails and Eggman, and you see the new Eggman and shit like that. Maybe the two get split up and whatever, and they have to go back to, Sonic has to save Tails. Something, you know what I mean? Some shit. But I think for me, what I really want them to do is I want them to spend the next movie foreshadowing this new Eggman, so they're building him up as a threat once again, and then you get to that climax point, you know what I mean, where they show off the new Eggman. He's looking entirely crazy. He's toting his new look. He has a whole new fucking set of digs and shit like that. That's what I'm trying to see next movie.
He should look okay. I have 2 things to say. One, he should totally rock something similar to 06 Eggman, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
2, I would really want them to do a robot spin-off, showing his
Yes,
upbringing,
dog.
sort of, and how he delved into madness.
Sonic's
You get
Joker.
what I mean?
Eggman starts dancing.
Yeah. On the fucking staircase.
I'm done.
Dog.
I'd have to assume they definitely show the part where the bully has to eat food through a straw for a year.
That's too much for Sonic, dude.
Oh my god. Eggman was really edgy. I don't have a problem with Edge. It was just too sharp.
Oof, I fucking love Eggman in this movie though. Oh, we got another. Ritz asked another question, but I think did we miss it? Oh, okay, yeah. Here's what wait, actually, does anyone have anything else to say on this villain things? I actually want to see Mephiles because he's such a good villain.
Other than Metal Sonic, Chaos is probably one of the only characters in the
Deadly
Hardwell
Six.
that these were good characters.
Yeah.
Ew. No.
Is it?
I can't think.
I don't really. I think it'd be cool if we got references to Mecha and Silver Sonic as prerequisites to Metal Sonic, but not as full on characters.
Yo, that would be cool too, low key, because you could also kind of do that with what's it called? Foreshadowing thing I was saying earlier, except maybe replace the heavies with prototype versions of Metasonic or something. Egg Dragoon. I want to see the Egg Dragoon in this fucking film series. I want to see the Egg Dragoon in this film series. That shit would look fucking clean on the big screen.
They cannot forget the Death Egg robot.
Doug, that's what I'm saying. They don't have to even come up with new villains. You know what I mean? There's so many iconic Eggman final bosses. They could literally just take those and make those the baddies for each movie. You know what I mean? Just have them keep on building crazier and crazier machines, and that will keep it fresh. You know what I mean? Maybe have him have some Death Egg Robo, and then have a big confrontation where it's sort of Doomsday Zone or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be clean. I like that.
I'm really interested in how Eggman will manage to get off of the Mushroom Planet, though.
I am too, yeah, because he's
there has to be something.
It's probably gonna be some fucking Dr. Stone type shit. We gotta get the minerals, dude.
Oh
like
my God.
some type shit like that.
Bro, I like if anything, I feel like he'd end up finding rings on that planet, just because like this part of the Sonic lore. I think I don't know if I'm using that correctly, but part of it is like no matter where you are, you can find rings. So it's like he has to find a couple rings on this mushroom planet if he wants to get off successfully and come back to Earth. Get everything sort of situated for his comeback.
Maybe, yeah,
and destroy all of Green Hills, Montana.
Another thing too is it's just like it's so far from what I can tell, it's a mushroom planet, but that doesn't mean, you know,
really?
they said it's just filled with mushrooms, you know what I mean? But we've only gotten like 2 looks at it.
Yeah.
There could be a lot more to the planet than we actually know. Like from what I can see, they're just giant mushrooms and then smaller mushrooms growing on top of those giant mushrooms.
Yeah.
Who knows what's underneath those giant mushrooms, you know what I mean? We didn't get a good look at the planet's actual surface. And in order for those mushrooms to grow that huge, it has to be rich with like nutrients and shit, you know what I mean? So there's probably a lot on that planet that'll like a lot that he could use is like fuel and, you know, like I guess like ammunition to find his way off the mushroom planet to somewhere else, wherever that may be.
Yeah, and then he could end up using a quill to get back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he'd do after that. Maybe he'd locate Stone.
But yeah, I think that's it for villains. I'm trying to think. Is there any other villain I would like to see?
I can't think of any other villains because I don't want to see the deadly.
To be honest, I think that if we wanted to add more villains, it would have to become a saga. It would have to become more than a trilogy. I think with just 3
it'd have to
movies,
be like the MCU.
If we kept adding more villains, it would just become bloated. So
Yeah.
I think it would have to become a saga if you really want to make some of these bad guys realistic.
Yeah, more or less, it'd have to be like the MCU kind of.
I want to see Infinite.
Iblis. Ooh, not Iblis. I meant Gaia.
Give
I
me
meant
the
to say
Phantom Ruby.
I mean,
Okay.
it would actually be a good chance to fix Infinite, make him an actually good character.
That would
But
be-
I don't know if I'd want to like.
I'd be
waste
very
time on it.
interested if they chose Infinite of all fucking characters. I'd be like, all right, I wouldn't be against
my
it. I'd just
God.
be like, interesting choice. Okay.
Well, I mean, they've managed to fix what Sega couldn't, so I'm sure they could do something with Infinite.
Okay. Let's move on now. Let's go on to the next question, which was that
I don't
Ritz's
think
question? Yeah, Ritz asked a question. I think it was. He
Asking
said, "Do you think Jim Carrey was good? Thoughts on him being Eggman in the CU? What is that? Does that mean the collective universe? I don't know what CU means.
Cinematic universe.
Cinematic universe. Okay, there you go.
We already give our thoughts on Egg.
Yeah, we kind of went into this already. But basically, like, you know, we disagreed on, like, you know, how what's it called? Intimidating he should be, you know. But I think we all liked him in some capacity. So you know, he was
I'm a massive Jim Carrey fan, so I mean, I was gonna enjoy him regardless.
right.
I've only watched The Grinch really, and Dumb and Dumber. I think.
I need to watch Ace Ventura. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
On my name tag, it has Ace Ventura as my favorite movie. So
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Jim Carrey stuff, so
I've only seen The Truman Show, so
that shit
All
movie
this,
goes
like,
hard.
That's
I
a
love
good
that.
movie.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like, other than that, like, I haven't seen his goofier performances. The Truman Show was like mostly serious.
That was a pretty serious Jim Carrey performance, yeah.
I really liked when he was dancing to the song "Evil Girls." That was just like fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that for sure. That was dope.
Evil girls in the dark.
Okay, one last call for questions. We'll stay on for like maybe 5 more minutes if we don't get any more questions, just so this could catch up or whatever. But if you guys have any more questions, you got 5 minutes to tell us. And then if we don't get any big questions at that point, we're just gonna the stream's gonna end here. You know what I mean? I think we've run out of things to talk about. We've hit 3 hours, so yay. And yeah, like after the I need that watch time if I want to get monetized, buddy. But after this, obviously the stream is gonna process and stuff like that. Yes, Chow should make an appearance. Yo, dog. Yes, they should.
Yo, the
whole
Chow
fucking
Garden,
planet.
The Chow Garden.
Yes.
Bro. Nah, they should do what Sonic X did and have like on each planet or something there'd be Chow colonies. Yo.
Like I really want to. I actually didn't watch Sonic X, so I don't.
There were Chow colonies in Sonic X.
Yeah, probably in
there
season
were.
3. At some point in time, man, I'm gonna make a review on Sonic X and Sonic Underground. That's gonna be a fucking trip. But no, I think actually like they would make please put the Chow in one of these movies. If they have an entire planet dedicated to Chow in the second film, that just screams merchandise. You know what I mean?
Planet Chow.
Dead ass, like that's a lot of money right there, and it also just would make this more endearing because a lot of these people I feel like don't know what a Chow is because they've only been exposed to the classic games. Some people played the adventure titles and stuff because those were very successful games. You know what I mean? But I don't think Chow are definitely one of the more obscure elements of the Sonic universe, and I think that they should be given the spotlight a little bit more because I fucking love the Chow. Please.
Has the Chow Garden theme played yet?
No, it hasn't actually. It is not. But when we go to the thanks for watching screen, I'll play that. But what's it called? I think that's a great idea actually. I want to see the Chow.
We want to see Chaos anyways, and the Chow kind of
play into that.
You got another question.
Which character should be in the Sonic movie franchise going?
If it extends for more than two movies. Okay, that's a good question because the modern cast is very big and there's a lot going on there. So let me let you guys go first because I've been talking for a while. What do you guys think?
I think I would like to see Amy come next.
Yes,
because she's one of the main classic characters. But if we were to move into modern characters, definitely Shadow, and maybe even Silver.
Right.
Okay. So I might be going with a bit of a stretch here, but I really want to see the Chaotix. Oh my god.
Oh, dog! Yo!
I really want to see the Chaotix.
Yes.
Like Vector, Espio, and Charmy doing detective work in the movie.
Dog, the vibes. That doesn't even have to be like I consider those are classic characters. Dog, put them in. That's what I'm talking about. Put them in the trilogy, baby. Yeah.
Bro, they'd be so good for plot progression and comedic relief at the same time. Oh my god.
Yo, introduce those assholes with Knuckles and introduce Amy with Tails. That's how you do it.
Yes.
Why don't we just have a whole Knuckles Chaotix movie?
Dog, you could have a whole. I was about to say that, dude. I'd watch that. I'd watch a spin-off series where it's Knuckles and the Chaotix. That sounds so dope. That sounds so cool.
Ooh.
This is crazy. I never expected we'd get to a point where this was the what's it called? There's like we could talk about this shit and have it be semi-realistic. Damn. Wow.
Right?
Damn.
I personally would not like to see the Chaotix. Like I get your points and I actually agree with them. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the Chaotix as characters, and they would have like. Even though I would obviously love to see Amy, and I agree I would like to see Shadow, but even Shadow to me is pushing it in a trilogy. You would need to have more than 3 movies to.
Well, he
introduce
specifically
any
said
characters.
if it extends beyond more than 2 other
Yeah.
movies.
Okay, so
Yeah, if there were like more than 3 movies, I would be okay with
I'm gonna
that,
say something that is gonna be very controversial. But if they go past the trilogy, I don't want to see any of the fucking modern characters in this film series.
Uh-oh.
I want them to make new characters, do new things. I do not want to
it
see.
is a new universe.
I
because
don't. Yeah, I don't want to see Shadow. I don't want to
I
see
want to see that
Silver.
lizard man.
You could who?
The lizard guy in the concept art.
Okay.
I've never
Like,
seen that. Can you link that? Let me see that.
Oh yeah, I got you. Hold up.
But no, yeah, like I deadass want to see new characters. I want to see them tread new ground. I think classic characters are fine. For me personally, I have a soft spot for the classic universe just because it's so cohesive. You could even do Mighty and Ray. You know what I mean? You can even do Mighty and Ray. But that's like the extreme for me. For me personally, out of characters that I would want to see in this series of films, it goes to we've already seen Tails, obviously, but there's Amy, there's Knuckles, there's the Chaotix, and then there's possibly I guess Metal Sonic you can count as his own character too, and then there's possibly Mighty and Ray. You know what I mean? I kind of would like for, in terms of recurring Sonic characters, I would like for it to stick to the classic universe. I honestly have no desire to see any of the modern characters on screen.
That's not the lizard man, Chabal.
Oh, I know.
To be honest, I don't think the movies at that point would get a lot more, like, they wouldn't benefit from having all the additional characters. Like,
I don't think so either.
really, only Sonic fans really care about who Shadow is, who Blaze is, who Silver are.
And plus, you have to
or
think
Big
about
the
like
Cat.
how you explain them in the movie
What
universe.
the fuck is that?
'Cause it's not the same as the game
Dog.
universe and how they.
It was a theoretical enemy, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just mean in general.
Dog, I'm about to
I
put
meant
this in
this-
this.
I meant this.
I'm about to put this in the fucking stream. This shit is ugly. Dog, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Continue.
I thought Plymouth was saying something.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. This is gonna look ugly as fuck. This is gonna look ghetto as hell. But here, I really want you guys to see this fucking lizard man. Cause wow, this shit is crazy.
I think the reason I wouldn't care for the Chaotix is the same reasons for,
Dog.
Shadow, Silver, and Blaze. They are technically classic characters. They did show up in Knuckles Chaotix, but not a lot of people are aware of who the Chaotix are.
Dog.
They didn't actually become aware of the Chaotix as characters until Sonic Heroes, so that's another reason I wouldn't really want to see Chaotix in the movie, because they wouldn't really benefit it. What the fuck?
Dog, look at that. I think, okay, here's another thing for me too. If they make new characters, animal characters, please do them in the style of the series. I don't want to see this realistic Destiny shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at here. But that does not look very good.
Longclaw's a cutie though.
Like, but my thing with Longclaw too is she just looks so much like an owl. It's like, I think you can have more owl-like traits, but I feel like really if they gave her more Sonic-like eyes, she would look more like feel more like a Sonic character. You know what I mean?
Is that like the lizard version?
The
of Shen
only
from Kung Fu
changes that
Panda
I would
2?
accept to Sonic character designs is maybe separating the eyes. That's about it.
Yeah, like I really think having you can even fuck around with the
Separate my
proportions
dick.
too, but I think the biggest thing for Sonic characters is the eyes. Those are the most distinct part of the character design, you know what I mean?
What's
So
it
you
called?
got to keep the style that style of eye, you know what I mean?
I remember, like, specifically, like, we were talking about this earlier when that redesign was, like, initially released, that, like, it's fine if Sonic's eyes are separated, and I know I like them that way, but, like, the issue with them is that they don't really have the shape of Sonic's eyes. They're just kind of, like, squarish, and they just, like, really, like, weird, like, it, like, kind of works, I guess.
They
but,
look
like, why?
they're just Tyson Hess's
Yeah,
eyes.
Right.
Like that's my thing. And Hess did a wonderful job. You know what I mean? I don't want to pull a Raph at night because niggas will eat me alive. But like I think for me personally, what I want the most is I want for what's it called? This is very fitting music. I want the I guess just like face style and stuff to really match up with the series as a whole. That's just my biggest thing. That's like, I think that's very important. And if you don't get that right, it doesn't really look like a Sonic character. You can mess around with the body proportions and all that stuff. They've done it before. They've done it in the comics and stuff. But if you don't get those eyes and that general face style correct, it's going to look really weird. And also, it's another thing, too, where it's like, you know, you can mess around with proportions, but you have to keep in mind that because that style of face and eye is so cartoonish, you have to be somewhat cartoonish with the proportions themselves, because it looked really weird if you had a very realistically proportioned character with big old Sonic eyes and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay, cool. Does anyone have anything else to say about that? I mean, on that?
Oh, yeah. The one thing you had mentioned earlier about the movies making entirely new characters, I don't disagree with that. Like, I don't agree or disagree with that. I think it's honestly a really cool idea to create entirely new characters. Yeah. I don't see that happening though. They would have to basically hassle Sega into allowing that. Yeah, because Sega would be like, yeah, no, only official characters. We want to make the characters. You just use what we make. That, and people already talk about how expansive, like just how many characters there are in the Sonic universe. So adding an entirely new cinematic universe with new characters on that would just accentuate that.
Right.
But other than that, I don't really see a problem with it. I think it would be cool because if they especially do go with, you know, the planet hopping idea, they could bring in a lot of cool different concepts for new characters.
Right.
But I just don't see it happening though, like ever.
Okay, I can see that. That's very reasonable.
Imagine they do a race similar to the Cedrians. Oh my god.
The fucking plant guys that got bored?
Whoa.
Did they get bored?
I don't know. I just wanted to say bored.
Kinda. Sorta.
I just wanted to say they got bored. I don't know if they got bored.
It's been a long time since I've watched Sonic X.
Okay, so...
It's on Netflix.
I think we answered that. Sonic X is dog shit, by the way. Does the fate of the Sonic movies rest on the quality... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, did the fate of the Sonic movies rest on the quality of the games and vice versa? Okay, this is an interesting question because people know Sonic games exist, but people don't know they exist in this current state, so I would say no. I think the movies are very removed from the games. I think the movies can still be successful even if the games are dog shit, and I think that this movie in particular is a testament to that, primarily just because of the fact that everyone used this as an opportunity to get on Sega for putting out garbage games, so you know. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm interpreting it.
Okay, so what I see about this thing is that, like, from the movie, you know, it was a box office hit basically, and now Sega has got a bunch of these new set of eyes, really. So like it's like they're waiting for the next drop of content basically, and it's like you know, whether the game will be good or not, it's sort of dependent on Sega, really. So if they fuck up, if they drop the ball,
yeah. If anything,
I feel like
the
games
are going to be more affected by the
movies
movie
now.
Yeah, there you go. You said it. We said it at the same time, but no, yeah. I think at this point in time, the games are going to be affected more by the movie than the movie is going to be affected by the games. Obviously, Sega has a hold on, you know, the property and whatnot, and they get to tell, you know, like I'm assuming that the mandates they have with the comics are obviously going to extend to the movie because more people are going to see a movie than they are going to see a read a comic book. But, you know, like, I think, honestly, this movie's going to have a bigger effect on the video games than the video games are going to have on the movie. And I'm hoping that it's a positive effect, that we start to see higher quality games and whatnot. You know, like, I know a lot of people were saying the next game was going to be a fucking tie-in game. And, like, all right, asshole, sure. It'd be weird if they released a tie-in game after the movie came out. Like, okay,
after it's already out of the theaters and stuff. Like why wouldn't they want to cash in on whatever popularity they could? Like, they could make revenue if they released it right now.
Right, yeah. So that's, like, you know, how I'm sort of interpreting it is just like, you know, like I can't really see it extending past that. But I think that the games are going to be affected more by the movie than anything else. And once again, I hope that's a positive effect. I hope a lot of good comes out of this movie. But you never know with fucking Sega, am I right? What about you guys? You guys have anything to say?
What was happening? My parents walked in.
Yes.
The question was, does the fate of the movies rest on the quality of the games and vice versa?
No.
Oh,
If the fate of the movies,
the game would. If it did, the movie would have failed already.
yeah,
A song by Richard
like
Joffrey.
realistically, people remember Mania, but that's it.
He said that so staunchly. If it did, the movie would have failed already.
I mean, that's what I was thinking.
That's tough.
I think the question more entails with future movies than this current movie, because
No, I'm saying
obviously,
like it's
yeah,
a good
with the
example.
current
Of
movie,
probably
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
A good example for how this series could end up being is like I've said this like 1,000 times, but it's the MCU. It's like how the MCU is loosely based off of the comic books, but does such a well interpretation of those events. So the Sonic movie could be almost not exactly like that, but pretty much inspired off of.
I love
how they take source material and utilize it pretty much.
Yeah, I love how Sega has a what's it called? They made an entirely new logo for their films, like a new logo animation for these movies. Like they're gonna be making anything besides the fucking Sonic movie. You killed all your properties, asshole.
Yeah, I know.
No one's gonna go and see a Jet Set Radio movie.
I would
you
love to see a
fuckers.
Persona
Kill the
movie or a
series.
Fantasy Star.
I did actually. I teared up a little bit.
Somebody
whenever
said
I
something
heard
about
that Sega
a Streets
thing.
of Rage movie,
Mhm.
and I'd be down.
Dog, like low-key though, I feel like some movies from Sega might do well. I think they should dabble. I think they should honestly make a deal with Paramount to do some more Sega inspired video
Like
games.
exclusivity,
Yeah,
exclusivity kind of.
Yeah, a Sega what's it called? Cinematic universe might not be the worst thing for the company right now.
Yeah, it do them some really good.
I know it's doing.
They'd get a good revenue flow.
I know it's doing wonders
and then
for
that bring more
Capcom right
popularity
now.
to their games.
Mhm.
I would not mind. Actually, back on the topic of the Sonic sequel though, it'd be really cool if we got like Rise Star's Planet in there.
Oh
I'm just-
yeah,
that'd be
say
cool.
that.
Rest
It's like a
I
little
just wanna
reference.
Arms.
Yo, Rise Star went hard low key, bro. I may have to play those games on stream or some shit.
Exactly.
Those things are fun.
Rise
Yeah,
Star
Rise
was
Star's cool.
amazing. Wow, I really want the series to come back because it's like
I'm
one
so
of my
confused.
favorite
Did
Sega
Rise
games.
Star-
Once in 2008.
Did Rise Star come out after Sonic did?
Yes, Rise Star
Yeah.
did come out after
Like
Sonic.
I really want Rise Star to come back because like after Knights and Sonic, it's easily one of my favorite Sega series.
Can we get a fucking Alex Kidd movie?
No,
No.
Alex
no.
Kidd, baby.
this man said Alex Kidd.
The one before him, the one before the Great Blue One. It's so crazy to think that Alex Kidd was Sega's mascot before fucking Sonic. God damn. They were real talented to pull that one off, huh?
That kid is homeless now.
Yes, Alex Kidd is dead, dog. Sega has can we get a Crazy Taxi movie, except it's like a Fast and Furious movie?
You mean the Sonic?
Baby Driver.
Yeah, baby. Can we get
The only other thing I wanted to mention,
Mm-hmm.
I did want to say the thing about the question we was actually talking about,
Yeah, okay.
the movies affecting the games and such. I think that the answer to that question heavily relies on Sega's next move.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they can obviously bank off of this new movie. I think they can take the movie's popularity and try to pull new people into the series and help expand it. But on the other hand, I'm 90% sure that any new people that this movie brought in are going to look at the games, try a couple of them, are going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? This is nothing like the movie. So it very well could affect the games. People could be like, I'm only into Sonic for the movies because the games are absolute horseshit and things like that. Or other people could be like, or Sega could be like, oh, let's take this chance of everyone looking at us and looking at our IP and make some major improvements to fucking keep the people that we got attracted to us. Or they could just fuck it up, like the past 10 things they've done.
Yeah.
Ends up giving Sonic blue arms.
No, yeah, I think for me personally, I think if a kid buys the game, they'll probably not really care about the differences from the movie, and then any adult would be smart enough to know that they're, what's it called? Very obvious. Like obviously, the movie was an adaptation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I agree with that 100%.
I think you put too much faith in people's intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
It's like how we used to watch the Sonic cartoons back then, but they were never really.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I would ask why they weren't like the games. That would be something I would ask, but
but overall,
it didn't deter me from not watching them. I asked if it's similar enough.
But then again, this generation is a lot different than the last one. So
and I think it actually works better because usually the games had more to work with, which is why I was disappointed that more elements from the games weren't in the show. This is the opposite because there's not a whole lot going on in the movie. So if they go into the game universe and there's a lot more, that might be enticing or that might be daunting. It could go either way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But those are all the questions. And low key, the dining hall's about to close.
3 hours and a half.
Yeah, the dining hall's about to close soon, and I kind of want to get some food and go to sleep watching regular show. So I think we're gonna end it here.
Wait, I want to say one more thing. Okay. I want Amy to be introduced in the Sonic movie. And Sonic, being deprived of his own kind, he'll see Amy, and he'll be like, oh my god, finally some hedgehog pussy. Oh! And then throughout the whole movie, he'll be just he'll be trying to get in her pants, and then slowly he'll realize how crazy she is, and then we'll go 180, then she'll eventually develop a crush on him, while he's like, nah, she's crazy, I don't want to.
Dog, I hate that.
Imagine Amy's the one not accepting Sonic. That'd be crazy, dog.
Only a man could come up with that, because all men are dogs.
Oh, wow. I felt that in my chest, dog.
Like all men are hedgehogs.
I went into my friend's room the other day, and he looked at me. I was like, what's wrong? She was like, I just called it dog, bro. I just got called a dog, bro. I was like, damn, dude. I say it as a joke, but I've yet to meet anyone actually, who's actually been called that. But no, let's actually end this shit here. Serious time. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. It was a very fun event. I am very glad, that this many people showed up. There's a lot more than I thought. I'm not sure if it was as successful as the Forces one. I think the Forces one was a little more successful because we did that before Forces came out, and there's more hype going on there. You know what I mean?
20 viewers for your subscriber amount is pretty good though.
Right, which is I was gonna say next. You know what I mean? We've had the average viewer has always been above 10 viewers, like concurrent viewers, which is very good. Very, very good. And I very fuck with that. Oh, Vinograd, you came in late, bro. The stream's over. But, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I want to do more events like this. Hopefully, the next big event is SXSW. And then after that, hopefully we could do another debate event for whichever new Sonic games are coming out.
And that'll my live reaction.
Yeah,
dude, I'll be at South by Southwest. Can't do it.
I fucking hate you. But no, yeah. Hopefully we can do another debate for the next Sonic games when they're coming out. Yeah, I'd like this to be just like a series of events I do on my channel because I enjoy doing these, and it's just like a cool little podcast style thing to do. If you're interested in checking out everyone's channels, the link to that is in the description below, alongside links to my social media and my Discord. So if you want to join the Discord and follow me on whatever the fuck, links to do that are down in the description below. There's also the playlist we use for the movie. For this debate, that's in the description below. It's on Spotify. So if you don't have a Spotify, I guess make a Spotify or way you can listen to it for free. So never mind. And that's pretty much it. You guys have anything you want to say before I end this shit?
I got two things real quick.
All right.
First of all, obviously, anybody who's interested in Infinity Plus, obviously can, or in fan games in general, I go over a lot of that stuff over on my channel. So if you guys want to do some of that. The other thing was, Meow?
Meow?
Yeah.
That's how we should have started off the stream.
We forgot. I forgot, honestly. We agreed on it, but I forgot to do it.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
This is all we had.
So, I want to say thanks for having me. You know, that's cool.
Yes, sir.
And if you like have a hankering for like, I guess anime type content, I'll start doing more Sonic stuff soon. Check my shit out. You know, I'll just be sitting here in the quantum realm doing absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, and you two have anything you want to say or what?
Well, obviously, like, this is really fucking cool to do another debate again. I didn't think we'd ever do one again, like after like the Forces shit, especially with how Force, you know. So, yeah, I'm really happy I was able to come here and do shit though, and can't wait to do YouTube shit again, where we can and do more of these as well. But fuck Sonic though.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking Sonic no more.
Yeah, fuck the blue Hedgehog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm hungry, so I don't like. I haven't eaten lunch, and it's already like 3:20. I skipped lunch for this debate. I really don't care. Let's end it, please.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys all for watching. I will see you guys next time. Once again, check the description for all the links and everything. I appreciate everyone coming through. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.
Holding on a chance to see life beyond infinity. This is a war we're declaring. Resistance is only the start. Time to get into some action and fight until death do us part. Prepare the weapons and count down the seconds, 'cause there's no use in wasting borrowed time. We'll be the mavens without hesitation and take down out this place and say tonight. I won't let go of what we need, but all I want's for you to set me free. I'm Bye.